It's time to turn up the heat. Tonight, the trucks return to action. This week's stop, Las Vegas, baby. Better known as Sin City, a desert oasis where everyone strives to strike it rich. But everything that glitters isn't always gold, and racing is the ultimate gamble. When the sun goes down, the lights shine bright. Don't let the allure fool you. Odds are, the Strip wins more than she loses.
You think you're special, don't you? So many famous for you, don't be a fool. You ain't got nothing.
All the high rollers are in town, but only one will hit the jackpot. Let the good times roll. It's race day in Las Vegas.
After 2 weeks off, the Craftsman Truck Series is once again back in action, and there are a lot of teams looking for redemption after the season opener. The Desert Mirage on the West Coast, known as Las Vegas Motor Speedway, sets the stage for tonight's event, where all bets are off and only one team can cash in on the win. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but a race win and a trophy, that'll stay with you forever. Welcome in to Race Day here on FS1. I'm Caitlin Vinci alongside my friends here on the Truck Series, Trevor Bain, Todd Bodine. Great to see the two of you, and we are at Sin City, Las Vegas, first mile and a half racetrack. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, we kicked it off good at Daytona, but that's a totally different kind of racetrack.
Totally different, yeah.
Vegas is all over the place. You're running all over the racetrack, but this is the first test for these teams really to see what they have with their downforce program, for drivers to really work with their crew chiefs and communicate about loose and tight. You didn't have that at Daytona, but you're going to have plenty of it tonight, right, Todd?
Absolutely. You know, I love Las Vegas. You
raced there last year.
And I like the racetrack, too. I got lucky a couple times.
We took all four kids.
I hit the jackpot out there twice, so I like this place. But it's a fun racetrack for a driver. You can move around. You can make a difference in what your truck is doing.
Yes, well, we have plenty to talk about, of course, in terms of the Truck Series tonight. But first, we do have some breaking news tonight in the Cup Series. Chase Elliott, the driver of the number 9 Chevrolet Camaros, the L1 for Hendrick Motorsports, will not compete in this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series event at Las Vegas Motor Speedway due to a leg injury. Elliott, the 2020 Cup Series champion, suffered the injury to his left leg today while snowboarding in Colorado. He is scheduled to undergo surgery this evening. Josh Berry, 32 years old, will fill in for Elliott in Sunday's event at Las Vegas, driving for Hendrick Motorsports affiliate Junior Motorsports. He is a 5-time race winner in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the Hendersonville, Tennessee native has made 2 previous starts at the Cup level. Team owner Rick Hendrick issued this statement earlier today. He said Chase's health is our primary concern. He has spoken with several members of our team and is understandably disappointed to miss time in the car. Of course, he has our full support and will provide any resources he needs. We hope to share another update later this weekend. So we are certainly thinking about Chase Elliott and hoping that he has a quick recovery. What does this mean for Chase and for the team moving forward?
Yeah, well, first thing that comes to mind is, Chase didn't set out on the snowboarding trip to get hurt. He's just doing normal life, and then things happen, and you hate that. And Chase is somebody that always comes across on TV as critical of himself and hard on himself when things go wrong. And I'm sure right now he's in that hospital hurting, obviously, with his injury, but thinking, man, I don't want to be out of the race car. It's always hard for a driver to sit and watch their car go around the track with another driver in it. I'm sure Chase is thinking about that. As soon as he gets better, though, he gets out of the hospital, his mind's going to flip over to how do I make it in the Chase still? How do I get that exemption, get that going, and get this team turned around?
Yeah, and when something like this happens, you're always like, what are we going to do for a driver? Well, fortunately for Hendrick Motorsports, they can pull off of that Junior Motorsports team. Josh Berry is the perfect guy to get in this race car. The one thing that always impressed me about Josh, when he started in the Xfinity Series, he didn't have any experience in that type of racing, and he went out and he never overdrove the car. He never drove over his head in what the car was capable of doing. And to me, that speaks volumes for him. And I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. And on Sunday's race, he's going to do the same thing. He won't overdrive it. He can get a top 10 out of this.
Yeah, and he's had a long relationship with Dale Jr. over there. Obviously, Jr. having his relationship in the Hendrick camp, but he drove late models for Dale for a long time and then got his opportunity in Xfinity, showed what he could do, and this is a great opportunity for him to showcase that talent. Obviously, nobody wants to see misfortune for somebody else, though, so at the top of our mind is Chase Elliott, him getting better. We don't know the extent of this yet, and we'll try to keep up with it.
Yeah, we will certainly be monitoring the situation with Chase Elliott. So I want to go back to the race this evening. meeting in Las Vegas for the Truck Series. What are the challenges? What are the keys to getting it done out there? What do you think?
Yeah, we're switching gears fast here.
Yeah,
We're like
switching gears
right
fast.
back to Vegas. We go.
man.
So Vegas is a tough racetrack. There's a lot of lane choices here, and that makes for chaos on restarts. You're kind of looking at the truck in front of you, seeing where he's going to go, so you can go the other direction. Last year, early in the race after the first stage, we saw drivers going 5 wide. Zane Smith gets into the back of the 91. He turns in front of the field, and it's mayhem, chaos.
Yes, chaos.
Later in the race, though, we have another restart after this carnage that we see here again on replay, and Chandler Smith used it to his advantage. He gets to the outside of Kyle Busch, his team owner, and eventually gets the lead from Zane Smith on the inside, crossing people over. So I love the lane choices. We talked about that at California with the other series. It'll be that way for the Truck Series here at Vegas.
You've won there in the past, so what does it take to win at Las Vegas?
I think there's a lot of things. You know, the way you're talking, it sounds like you got to have a little bravery, right, on these restarts. and there is too. But as the run progresses and the tires get hot, you really have to be smart. You know, this racetrack in a truck is about running wide open and trying to do that every single lap. And you know, when you're going 4 wide, that's hard to do.
Dirty air everywhere.
Dirty air everywhere. But you got to be smart. This racetrack lends itself to a guy that can move around, move his line around. And it's not a lot. It can be 3 or 4 feet and make a big difference in how his truck is running and handling. And I think that's one of the best things Kyle Busch does is he understands that and he can find that fast line.
I always like the loose vehicle for that to move around, but yours was a little bit too loose last year. Is that right?
Just a little. Go ahead and tell him.
Sorry.
I spun out. He's trying to get
was
that.
coming. We had to give a little dig
I
at
almost
time.
didn't
Poor guy.
expect it.
Okay, let's look how the starting lineup is going to go for the race tonight. The KBM trucks take positions 1 and 3, and their affiliated truck with Rev Racing will start second with Nick Sanchez behind the wheel. Kyle Busch, of course, on the pole. ThorSport teammates Ty Majeski and Haley Deegan. They had a good effort. It's Haley's best start on a paved track in the Truck Series, so good for her. Who are you guys watching here when you look at the first 4 rows, Trevor?
Well, that one stood out right away. That's huge for Haley Deegan and her confidence after that run at Daytona. Zane Smith, much better in qualifying than he was in practice, so I'm interested to see where his speed goes in the race.
You know, I'm looking at Chase Purdy on there. You know, we've all been interested to see how he does in that 4 truck in at KBM because we know the expectations that they have there. And Daytona, that's in the past. Let's forget about that. He did really well qualifying. We'll see how he does in the race.
So starting up front, very important at this style track. What do you think?
The truck races go by so fast, Todd. I
They
mean,
do.
I ran a handful in 2020, and I felt like the first stage should be over, and they're throwing the checker flag. Like, it's over. So if you've got to hold on to that track position from the start of the race to the finish. So qualifying is a lot bigger than people expect, though this track does create some opportunity for pit strategy. We had some guys pit early, stay out at the stage breaks, and try to leapfrog people, so you might see that in this race.
To me, what's important about qualifying is clean air. You know, the closer to your front, the cleaner the air. You get back in the pack. Where I was racing last year,
I didn't say that.
I was 15th
You
to
did good,
20th the
Todd.
whole time.
He did do
and
good.
that dirty air back there, it makes it hard to figure out even what your truck is doing, let alone race it hard.
Yeah.
Listen, Todd, we're proud of you.
We are.
Okay, don't get it misunderstood. All right, let's look at this, guys. Who got it done on the mile and a half racetracks last year? We had 6 different winners total. Chandler Smith, he won at Vegas. Of course, he's moved on to the Xfinity Series. Zane took the victory at Kansas. Stuart Friesen did it at Texas. Ross Chastain and John Hunter Nemechek, both on this list and both in the race tonight, along with, of course, Ty Majeski, who won at Miami. So teams are all the way out on the West Coast, and some had travel issues getting into Las Vegas. So for more on that, we bring in our pit reporter, Josh Sims, who's at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Josh, what were some of the teams up against trying to get to the track?
Well, Caitlin, listen, the last thing you want to worry about when getting to the track and getting ready for the race is whether or not your pit crew is going to get here on time. That's the situation we're in for several of the teams here in the truck garage area. I'm talking about roughly 10 of the teams from KBM to ThorSport to Halmar Friesen to McAnally found out that the crews that they had back in North Carolina, well, they found out that their plane was broken. So they had to get them a backup plane. It takes time to get that plane there. So those crews aren't expected to arrive in Vegas until around 5:40, and then they have to get here to the track. The good news is they're supposed to get a police escort to get them here. More good news, a little more wiggle room as they've added 5 minutes before the start of the race to help them get here in time. In the meantime, the teams have been scouring the Cup garage and the Xfinity garage to find out if there's anybody that can help them out, at least at the start of the race, until those crews get here. So a hectic day for a lot of these truck teams in this garage area, Caitlin.
Yeah, very hectic indeed. Great insight there. Thank you so much, Josh. Okay, this is a big deal. How do teams kind of adapt and function with something like this going on?
Well, first, Josh is really adapting to NASCAR. He's rolling out the backup plane, about like getting the backup truck out of the hall. He's like, that's broken. We'll just get another one out. But that's stressful. You know, you're thinking about how can we maybe stay out in the first stage till our crew gets here? What are we going to do? And, you know, maybe NASCAR will work with them in some way. But, you know, you need your pit crew. That we talked about track position. You can't just send your front end mechanic over the garage and give him an air gun and a jack and say, go at it. You know?
Why not?
That's how you started out racing, right?
That's what I used to do.
Were you changing your own tires?
No, I started off changing tires on my brother Brett's modified.
You have a spinner wrench or an air gun? Or what do you have? Okay.
Yeah. But that's what they would do. They honestly, they would take the car chief and the tire guy and all these guys, put helmets on them and say, hey, go over and change these tires and fill it with gas because we got no choice.
And we're starting 5 minutes later now.
Well, it's 75 years of NASCAR, so we've come a long way in the 75 years from drivers getting out and changing their own tires to now, you know, pit stops are happening so fast that every second counts.
All right, well, we will definitely monitor this story here with the pit crews, and we're just getting started here on race day. Still to come, what drivers are looking for redemption after an eventful Daytona? Stuart Friesen, Hailie Deegan, Raja Caruth may be among them. Plus, tonight marks the first of 5 races for Kyle Busch. How will the hometown driver fare? We will hear from him coming up next. Welcome back to Race Day from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, where the Craftsman Truck Series is getting set for their second race of the year. Picture perfect day out there for a race. And take a look at this. Raja Caruth's number 24 truck is running a Wendell Scott Foundation paint scheme tonight. Each of the trucks competing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway are carrying a special decal commemorating Scott. So this weekend is the annual Wendell Scott Tribute Weekend. Scott, of course, was a NASCAR Hall of Famer, made history as the first black driver to compete in NASCAR's premier division with his first career start in March of 1961. He later became the first African-American to win a Premier Series event. So that is very cool. So let's go back, though, to the season opener. Daytona was not good to all teams. Take a look at this list of notables who had rough starts to the season. Matt DiBenedetto first there on the list, 20th. Everyone else below him. Some of the rookies, of course, in the mix. Veteran Stuart Friesen finished 28th. Hailie Deegan in her first year with a new team ended up 35th. So begs the question, who's looking for some redemption when it comes to putting Daytona behind them and capitalizing on Las Vegas? Who do you think?
The first one that sticks out to me is Nick Sanchez, qualified second tonight to prove he's going to turn his luck around in Vegas. I don't know that Vegas is the right place to turn your luck around, though, Todd. I don't
know. A lot of people get bad luck there, in general. So Nick Sanchez, what about Hailie Deegan? Are you watching her?
Yeah, for sure. She's qualified 5th, so I said earlier she stood out on that list in qualifying because she really needs to build some momentum here. I think going to ThorSport was a great move for her this year to be around some established veterans, Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes, people she can lean on and learn from. I didn't really see this move coming, but for Hailie, this is a big deal, and I know that Daytona didn't go the way she wanted to, but not by her own doing. They piled up in front of her, and she got pushed right into it.
It's typical Daytona. I'm looking at Raja, but I'm going to throw Nick Sanchez in on that, too. You know, their experience on Speedway, they have a lot, but it's all in the ARCA series, right? And we know that the truck series at Daytona is way different. Those two guys needed to really run that whole race, get that experience because it's so different. But, you know, they both got caught up in wrecks. Like you said, Nick's starting second, Raja's 24th. So tonight they can turn it around, just get good solid runs and get their season started off on a better foot.
That's right. Tonight is a clean slate, of course, for these drivers to get things moving in the right direction. Now, one driver who was not in Daytona but will race tonight in Las Vegas with a heavy heart is Max Gutierrez. Just prior to his first truck start of the year at Daytona, Max and his younger brother, Federico, who was affectionately known as Fico, were involved in an automobile accident outside of Mexico City. Fico, who was 17 years old at the time, was tragically killed. Max sat down with Jamie Little to reflect about that day, his younger brother, and his own decision to return to the track tonight.
He was my little brother. He was my best friend too.
So at this point, you're just about 5 weeks removed from the accident. What went into your decision to come back now?
Well, I came back just to do the next step. My dad told me, like, are you ready to race? Like, yeah. yes, because I have been racing since I was 3 years. So I think it's gonna be hard for sure, but I wanna race. It was a dream that me and my brother were trying to do and to reach. His plan was to race against me in the NASCAR Cup Series. That was our plan, and I'm gonna do like everything I can so I can reach that goal for him and for me.
So when you roll out off of pit road tonight, you'll have his name on the back of your truck, on the hood of your truck. Well, what will that mean to you?
Yeah, it will mean a lot. I have been thinking a lot of, in him. I mean, it's hard, but yeah, how I said, it's gonna be great to think that he's gonna be next to me, enjoying the ride and help me to stay out of troubles, and he's gonna be all the time with me.
He would want you to get back in the truck and get back at your racing career.
Exactly, yeah. It's gonna be a race that I'm gonna remember my whole life. He's gonna be with me the whole time.
Thank you to Max for sitting down with Jamie this morning and sharing his tragic story. We are pulling for him tonight as he races in Vegas with a heavy heart. And on Max's 22 truck, he is honoring and paying respects, as he talked about, to his brother with Fico's logo on the hood and Gracias Fico on the back, with a picture there of him as well. So we are wishing him all the best tonight. Still to come, here on race day, the defending champion of Zane Smith. He picked up right where he left off, winning the season opener. Josh is with Zane at the track next to find out his mindset. Plus, Kyle Busch will join the show as he gets set for his first of 5 races this year in the Truck Series. More race day is on the way. Welcome back to Race Day from Vegas with a look at the Melon Man, Ross Chastain, back in the Truck Series. Always great to have him with us. He is starting 23rd for the race today. What about Tyler Ankrum? He too, of course, is ready to go out in Sin City. He will start 18th for the race. Now, the defending champion, Zane Smith, he survived the rain and the melee at Daytona in the season opener to go on and earn his 8th career win in the series. And back-to-back, I might add, at Daytona. So great moment for him and his crew chief, of course. They're the defending champs, starting their year off right with a win. So what about this? How about we look at the drivers who've been able to win the first 2 races of the year? Zane hoping to be the 4th on this list. Mark Martin did it back in 06. Johnny Sauter took the honors in 2013. And then it was Ben Rhodes in 2021, won the first 2 events, went on to win the championship that year. So how is Zane feeling going into tonight and potentially getting another victory? He's standing by at the track with Josh.
Thanks, Caitlin. And just like last year, Zane comes to Vegas with a win under your belt in the opener at Daytona. So just like last year, how does this set you up now going forward through the season?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're in a really good spot, obviously being locked in the playoffs and once again have that first win under our belt. So looking forward to tonight. I feel like we have a really good F-150. I feel like last year I want to say kind of gave this one away. And so rewatching last year's race, it's been painful. So hopefully we could execute tonight and park our Speedco F-150 in victory lane.
Now, you talked to me earlier just about how important it is winning here for you. Why?
Just, I grew up right outside of this racetrack, racing at the Bull Ring, and then during the summertime and then during the wintertime, I'd race on the road course right outside the track. So this is pretty much my home track. So just have always wanted to win here, and I definitely have this one circled on my list.
Thanks, and good luck tonight, Zane. Thanks. Caitlin?
Thank you, Josh. Of course, the hometown guy would love to get a win out there in Vegas. So he won 4 races last year. In Vegas spirit, we got to do a little over-under. Over on that number or under? What do you say for
Zane? You're from California, not Vegas. I don't know why Vegas. It's close. It's West Coast racing, right?
They're next to each other.
Just let him
Close
know.
enough.
You know, my over/under on Zane winning, I put him at like 49, 50% odds. You know, I'm not going to go.
Okay. Wait, what does that mean? I don't even know.
I don't even know either.
You
I'm
think
saying,
more than 4
is he going to win more than 4 or less?
Win more or 4? I don't know. I think he's. I don't know. Just put him at odds that he could do it. I don't know.
Okay.
4 or more. I don't know. I don't think he's. This season, he's already won a race. He could win 4 races, but it's going to be really tough. There's a lot of great trucks out here. That was my point. I got 50% chance that he's going to win 4 more races. That was my safest answer I had, Todd.
I see. Okay, 4 more.
Yeah.
Can you answer like a normal person?
Vegas
for me?
had
Yes, I will,
percentages.
Caitlin. yes, he's going to win more than 4.5 races.
There you
yes,
go.
I definitely, I think he can win 5 or 6 even. I mean, when you come off a season like they had last year, and he's picked up right up where he is, and he loves this track. I mean, they're so strong at every track. There's no reason they can't win. Last year, they gave away like 3 races, so I really think they can.
For some reason, I heard, what are his odds there, Caitlin? I thought we were just Vegas
I don't
percentages.
know.
You know?
Maybe are you trying to blame me for that?
Read the rundown.
Enough. Let's go to career best finishes at Daytona. Take a look at this list, guys. We're giving some attaboys, too, from the season opener. Zane Smith, of course, first, tied best. Tanner Gray was second. Colby Howard there with the top 5. We got to give a shout-out to Travis Pastrana. He was 13th. Sammy Smith in the top 15 in his first career start. Nick Sanchez, 26th. Daniel Dye, 30th. But, it was their first career start. So there is that. All right. So when we look at this list, who impressed you the most?
Well, Tanner Gray last year came out with 3 top 10s in a row, and we all thought, man, the kid's on fire. This is going to be his year. And then he only had 3 top 10s the rest of the year. It really went downhill. But he's so good a racer, and unfortunately for him, he's been here 4 years now, and he's had 4 different crew chiefs. So he's on his 4th one now, but David Gillen's trying to figure out how to make that success start at the beginning of the year and carry through. But I think he did a great job down there.
No, I have to agree. And their trucks have been so good at Vegas. If you look at last year, with Ryan Preece and the guys that were in these Tricon garage trucks now, they're really strong. So I think Tanner Gray is going to have a great day today. And, I agree with that.
Well, we're talking about him. Why don't we hear from him and see what his mindset is? Let's go to Josh Sims out of the track, who's standing by with Tanner.
Well, thanks, Caitlin. And here with Tanner Gray coming off your best career finish of 2nd at Daytona. Got off to a hot start last year as well. So how do you kind of maintain this throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the big question, right? I don't know. We just got to go out here. It's like I was talking to the guys earlier. I need to do a better job managing races than what I have in the past. And I feel like with the people that I have around me this year and kind of the direction the company's heading, it's going to make that a lot easier for me. So there's a lot of great people in my corner, and I just got to prepare and study and do everything I can to be the best that we can be. But looking forward to getting going here tonight. Everybody from Tricon Garages has brought some fast Tundras, so just need to be smart. Obviously, we're starting in the back with the fuel pump issue, but it's going to make it interesting, so we'll see.
Statistically, this is one of your best tracks here, so I know you talk about where you're going to start. What's it going to take to get where you want to be at the end of the race?
Yeah, just trying to find clean air and on throttle time. Obviously, it's cool out, so the track's going to have a lot of grip, which is going to make it kind of tough to pass. But I feel like our stuff's good enough to be able to get back through there. So, yeah, just gotta find the holes and find clean air.
Thanks, and good luck tonight, Tanner.
Thank you, Josh. We will certainly keep an eye on him for the race tonight. Let's take a look at some starting spots for Tricon Garage. Here they are. We've got some new faces, not new to the Truck Series, but new this year in the field at Tricon. We got Kaz Gralla, John Hunter Nemechek, Corey Heim, and of course Tanner Gray. So, what do you guys think? And Dean Thompson, of course, they're in the list.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers on the list. They've got 5 trucks now, which to me is so cool. We talked about this a little bit for the Daytona pre-race show. But what David Gillen has built there over the years, it started as a late model team for his son, and now it's a 5-truck team. And not just a 5-truck team, but a competitive team. John Hunter Nemechek has got to be one of the favorites tonight in that 17 truck. Kaz Gralla is in this group. And then Tanner Gray, his brother Taylor Gray, will be racing some this year as well. Pretty much full-time, only missing 3 races. So I'm interested to watch what happens, how this team develops. And I really want to hear his feedback after this race. John Hunter Nemechek has a lot of experience in that TRD group, and I think this will be great as a litmus test here for Gillen, or Tricon Garage, I should say.
Never count out John Hunter, right?
No, not at all. But when I raced at Germain Racing, we had a period there, a couple of years, where we had 3 race trucks going at all times. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of work to have 3. And David has taken on 5. And the logistics to go with putting 5 trucks on the track, that's how tough. And to get 5 good ones is even harder. Yeah. But he's got a lot of great people over there. David's a great leader, and there's no reason they can't. Tonight, Kaz there, he's the leader of the group right now, starting 10th. Glad to see him in this truck because I know he can do a good job.
Yeah.
When I went to that shop this offseason, I was blown away of the who's who of the Cup Garage even was in there in Gillen's shop working. I mean, they're crew chiefs and all over the place. He's just got great people, as you mentioned.
Yeah, keep an eye on Tricon Garage today and all all throughout the year, of course, as well. We still have more race day on the way. Kyle Busch, he's getting set for first of 5 races in the Truck Series. And, of course, he's a 3-time winner at Las Vegas, so we're looking forward to seeing how he performs. What about Ben Rhodes? He's a past champion at Vegas. There's Kyle and the family getting ready. We look forward to seeing how Rowdy Busch does. Ben Rhodes, he thinks he might be the guy to win. We'll be right back.
Take it to the pay window and cash it. Kyle Busch wins at Las Vegas. He's going to go back to back. Career win 93 for Kyle Busch. Headed for home, and it is home. Las Vegas on his home track. Kyle Busch, he's going to victory lane again.
Never count out Rowdy Busch when it comes to Las Vegas or to these style racetracks, because Kyle piles on. Here's his career on the mile and a half. He's got 76 starts with 35 wins, over 3,000 laps led. He is the all-time leader, of course, in wins. No surprise there. So here's his win numbers in all 3 series. I just love this. The slot machine, he gets his own because he has been so impressive. Of course, he's running all 3 series in Las Vegas, which means he could potentially win 3 events and add to his already incredible career in NASCAR. So how about we hear from him? To get his mindset for the truck event tonight, we join Josh once again, who is standing by with Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, Caitlin. And Kyle Busch in the truck for the first time this season, and obviously a little bit of a different venture for you and KBM being Chevy. So what excites you about this now?
Just coming out here and being fast and, coming back and getting right back to where we were. We were quick here last year. We had great trucks, and so I'm looking forward to the same thing again this time around. So we'll see. We've got 2 young bucks that are starting right behind us that don't have a whole lot of experience, at these mile-and-a-half places, these fast tracks, but excited about their opportunity, too, of being up there in some fast KBM Silverados. So, our Zaris Transport Chevy is fast, and want to keep it fast up front, and hopefully we can control the race.
Doing the triple header this weekend, what's the best part about that for you?
Well, you get added track time. I don't know if I need added track time. I've been around these places enough over the years, but just getting back in the KBM truck, that's probably my favorite part of it. Obviously, just working with my people and the time that we've been in the series for 12, 13 years and continuing to go out here, try to race for wins. Being with a new group for colleague and all those guys with Chris Rice and everybody on that side. So that's something to look forward to. And then, of course, the RCR team and being with the Alisco Chevy on Sunday. Randall and the guys have done an amazing job this year, and winning last week certainly was amazing. So getting that out of the way, I wouldn't say it's a monkey off the back, but it's just a pressure reliever. And so now we can go out and just race for more wins.
Thanks, and good luck tonight, Kyle.
Thanks, Josh. Always great to hear from Kyle Busch. He's, of course, riding high after that Cup Series win just last weekend. You can never count him out, though, in the trucks. He's done so well in this series over the years.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't care if it's a Toyota or a Chevy or even a Studebaker, which Caitlin has no idea what a Studebaker is.
But you do.
Yeah, I do. I own a Studebaker. But whatever he's driving, he's going to be at the front, and it's going to be fast. He's just got that knack. And, we've seen him before where he's gotten flat tires at the start of the last stage and drove back to the front. I mean, his numbers are incredible, and he's just, to me, he's just a natural behind the wheel.
Yeah, you pair him with an experienced crew chief like Brian Patty that came from the Cup Series to the Truck Series. He was a 47 Ricky Stenhouse's crew chief for the last few years in the Cup Series. They won the Daytona 500, so now I'm sure Patty's like, we got to go get a trophy and quick right now.
Well, Kyle and Brian were together like 15 or 18 years ago, according to Kyle, is what he said today. So, yeah, a little homecoming there.
Yeah, that duo, Brian Patty, Kyle Busch, certainly could be dangerous. So for more insight on this, we join the voices in the booth for tonight's race and say hello to Jamie Little, calling her first of many truck races this year alongside Phil Parsons and Michael Waltrip. And we were just talking about Kyle Busch being in the field. What is your thoughts on Kyle, and who can challenge him for the win this evening, you think?
Well, Caitlin, yes, we're excited to be here. It's been a gorgeous day, a little brisk night, a little chilly tonight, but I think we're in for a great event. But Kyle Busch, that story is what everybody has talked about today, his first pole since 2019. What do you guys think? Is anybody in the field going to be able to stop him like we saw last year with Chandler Smith?
Yeah, what Caitlin talked about, his numbers on mile and a half, they're just ridiculous. But his numbers overall in the Truck Series, he won almost 40% of the times he ever teed it up in the truck. But You ask if anybody can beat him. Without a doubt, he's a chalk. In horse racing terms, he's a chalk. That means the odds-on favorite by a long ways. And he's got 3 wins here. He's got 5 top 2 finishes in his 6 starts in a truck here at Las Vegas. So, and he talked about it a few moments ago. He knows this racetrack. He knows how to get around here. He knows how to win in any kind of vehicle. So I don't know if anybody can beat him tonight, Michael.
His numbers are mind-boggling, as you said, Phil. You just can't argue with who he is as a race car driver. And when he suits up in that truck, he's going to be tough. I can't wait for tonight, though, because coming into here, I would have made him the favorite. But I think there's some guys that have his number. Number one, remember what happened? You said it a year ago. Chandler Smith took him down. We were all saying the same thing before the race.
He wasn't going to get beat last year.
Nobody was going to beat him. Chandler did just that. I think Ben Rhodes, he starts back in the 9th position. He won his first ever truck race here at Vegas back in 2017. He's got a championship under his belt. I think Ben Rhodes is a guy that can go out there and take Kyle Busch down. It's going to be a fun night to watch and see how these guys strategize, what moves they make in order to try to put Kyle away.
I don't know. I'm also watching Zane Smith. Remember, he finished 2nd last year, but he was disqualified for a penalty. So we'll see how strong they will be tonight. But we're looking forward to it coming up next at 9 Eastern. Caitlin.
Thank you, Jamie, Phil, and Michael. Great insight there, as always. And so we're in Vegas. Why not bring out the roulette wheel? It is time to bring it out for its first trip
I've never
here on the
spun one of
show.
these, Todd. You'll have to show me how to do it.
It's
on a
easy.
show or in real life. Trevor has never spun one. But you're a first, Todd. Good spin by you. I know you're no stranger to spinning these. Who we got?
Carson.
Let's
Carson.
see.
Gonna be Carson.
Nope, I don't think
oh,
so.
No, Craftsman.
Matt Craftsman. Okay, so what do you say? Hot, cold, or a wild card for the race win tonight?
I'm going to call Matt on the cold side here. You know, we used to call him Mr. Mile and a Half for a while there. He was really tough on mile and a half. 10 mile and a half wins in his career. But if you look at the statistics from last year, he only had 5 top 10 finishes.
You wouldn't even give him a wild card for that time?
No, not even that, because he had no top 5 finishes last year.
Okay, all right.
So he didn't have the speed, and who knows? I mean, you never count him out for sure, but right now he's got to be on the cold side for me.
All right.
Okay, so there we have it on Matt Craftsman. Your turn to spin. This is Trevor's
get
first
all the way
time
up here and like rip this thing? Let's go.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I feel like I spun it pretty hard for the first time.
Yeah,
good spin.
no doubt.
All right, let's see what I get.
It looks like Matt DiBenedetto.
Matty
Okay,
D.
hot,
All right.
cold, or wild card?
Man, I'm going to have to follow Todd's trend here. I'm going to have to go with cold on Matt D. Last year, he did get his best finish of the season at Vegas, 6th place. He tied that at Gateway. But I thought they would heat up as the season went on, and I just didn't see that stride, Caitlin, where they were building momentum and learning. It seemed like they almost fell off a little bit at the end of the year. So, obviously, Matt could, as you said with Matt Craftsman, could come out and do something wild. But to me right now, this team's a little bit cold.
Okay, starting 19th for Matt DiBenedetto. Another spin is on the deck for you there, sir. Give us a,
All right,
a
let's
good
do
one.
it right here.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Big money, right, guys? Is that what people do? They clap and cheer at the roulette wheel?
When do we throw
All
chips in?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I
Do
don't
you
gamble.
put
Okay.
chips in?
Maybe. Stuart Friesen. Okay. Hot, cold, or wild card? What do you think?
Well, he's not starting very good tonight. He's 22nd, but I'm still going to put him to the wild card side. I think Stewart can get it done. He loves mile and a halves. He's always been fast at mile and a halves. You know, last 5 races here, Vegas, he's had top 10 finishes. That's pretty darn good. And he was 3rd here last year. Won at Texas, of course, a mile and a half last year. So, I'm gonna put him at the wild card. Well, maybe hot, maybe hot, maybe hot. We'll
not
go
freezing.
hot.
He's hot, right?
Okay, he's hot.
Bonus
I'm going again, y'all. Let's do this thing.
Bonus star. All right. What do we got? Did you like what I did there? Come on. Just
Freezing.
He's not freezing. He's hot. Yeah. Okay.
He's
All right. What do we
freezing to
got?
hot.
Ooh, Ben Rhodes, past
hot
champion.
right away. You heard Michael Waltrip talking about it in the booth there. He won here in 2017. You reminded me of that earlier, and he knows what he's doing around this place. I think it'll be good.
He's good on mile and a half.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good job on your first game of roulette,
Thanks, I
Trevor.
liked it. I won.
Really
Did I win?
solid showing out of you.
Didn't win
I'm
nothing.
impressed.
Didn't win anything. Okay.
All right, we're getting closer to racing, of course, for the Truck Series, but tomorrow is also another busy day. The Xfinity Series, it will be their turn with the coverage at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Then join us on Sunday for race day at 2 Eastern on FS1 with the race coverage continuing on Fox for Las Vegas. And once again, we revisit the breaking news tonight in case you missed it at the top of our show. Chase Elliott, the driver of the number 9 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Hendrick Motorsports, will not compete in this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series event at Las Vegas Motor Speedway due to a leg injury. So Elliott was the 2020 Cup Series champion. He suffered the injury to his left leg today while snowboarding in Colorado. He is scheduled to undergo surgery this evening. Josh Berry, 32 years old, will fill in for Elliott in Sunday's event at Las Las Vegas. He drives for Hendrick Motorsports affiliate team Junior Motorsports, and he is a 5-time race winner in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The Hendersonville, Tennessee native has made 2 previous starts at the Cup Series level, so we will certainly continue to follow that story. Still to come, though, right here on race day, Josh Sims. He goes one-on-one with Christian Eckes, or does he, guys? Because some furry friends are assisting going 4 wide, right?
That's right. He's got his
Very
hands
nice.
full.
That interview is coming up next. Welcome back to Race Day with a look at Christian Eckes in that 19 truck, starting 12th for the race tonight. His second race with McAnally Hilgeman Racing. And we want to remind you of this. It was back in 2021 when Christian was able to get his first career win in the Truck Series, and it happened right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He led 4 laps in the fall and went on to get the victory. So, great moment for him, of course. And he actually has been in the series for a while, but you may have forgotten where all he has raced at over the years. So take a look at this. The Eckes file, as we're saying it. It was Kyle Busch Motorsports was his home from 2018 to 2020. Then Thor Sport, he had 33 starts with the Sandusky, Ohio team. And now he's at McAnally Hilgeman Racing, which is a change-up for him as of this year. So to find out what Christian's mindset is for the new opportunity in the year ahead, we sent Josh Sims to find out. So the two of them got some assistance from some furry friends with this interview, as Josh is a new pet owner needing some tips. And Christian also opened up on what he needs to do to have a successful 2023 season.
So Armstrong is a black Labrador Retriever. He's a good boy. Got a new friend now. Reese's a rescue. He's 8 months. From a veteran dog dad to a new dog dad, what advice you got for me? Take him on a lot of walks. The more tired he is, the less stuff he'll chew.
We watched Christian come up through this truck series. They had a little up and down.
Christian Eckes in a new truck, number 19 for the 2023 season.
How long did it take to kind of process the unknowns of the business and never really being able to be comfortable? You know, if you don't perform, which I feel like I haven't performed to my capabilities over the past few years, off season every year has kind of strengthened me mentally and made me realize, you know, how grateful I am for the opportunities I have and how much I need to take advantage of them.
In 21, how did you process having to kind of take a step back and go part-time after being full?
The first reaction was just, you know, happy to have something, right? First couple weeks of January, I didn't know if I was even racing at all. To be with Thor Sport Racing, not only that year, but the next year, was a huge honor and definitely kind of got my career back going when everything kind of seemed lost in 2020.
Christian Eckes, the leader, off of turn number 4. Christian Eckes, his first career win.
What did that win at Vegas do for you that season?
It was huge to finally get the gratification of, I can actually do this, I can win. I gave away a lot. I still gave a lot last year, but you know, to finally get that win was huge for my confidence.
Right after you got it done, when you were doing the post-race interview, you were at a loss for words.
I'm speechless. Like I said, it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year.
Now that you've had time to let that sink in, how would you describe what you were feeling in that moment?
I'd say just a relief more than anything. After everything that happened over that offseason, not knowing if I was ever going to race again and not winning as much as I should have, to finally just check that off the list was nice to do.
You've been close so many times. You do have a win under your belt, but how important are those wins in the grand scheme?
I mean, I think they're the most important thing, right? You know, winning is everything in this sport, and I feel like the opportunities I've had and haven't won have kind of changed my future. So I feel like I have to win this year to make my career productive and kind of restart that. I feel like I should probably have like 10 truck wins at this point, but you know, lose them on a white flag or crash or do something. So hopefully I can change that.
Come here, Reese. Hey, Reese.
Armstrong, come here, buddy.
Come here.
See? Oh, you want the toy, don't you, buddy?
Anytime you can have dogs in a piece is good with me. The furry friends there making a cameo in the piece. So Christian's talked about his career and the different teams he's raced for. New team this year. What kind of impact do you think that could have on him?
Well, I think it, obviously, like he said, it's a whole new life in his career. You know, we watched him 6 years ago come into the series, and he's got 69 races under his belt. And we all thought when he came into KBM, oh, this is it. You know, the kid's in the great equipment, he's going to win some races. And he struggled. It just didn't happen. And got booted out. And we all thought, well, okay, he's going to ThorSport, another good team, got the one win. But this team, Bill McAnally brought him to this team because he felt Christian could make a difference. Right? That's what you want, a driver that can help your team. Well, he's got enough experience now, 69 races, got that win, and the pressure's off now, right? He's the lead driver in this team, and they're all behind him.
Well, experience is your friend in racing. Anytime you get to get years of experience under your belt, you're going to be better. If he could be back in that KBM ride now, he'd win more races. But he's at McAnally Hilgeman Racing, and Bill, I met with him this offseason or went to his shop, and he really wants to put a big effort into this team this year. That's part of hiring Christian Eckes. That's part of bringing Chad Norris over as the GM. He wants to take this team and do what he did in the ARCA Series, win a lot of races, not just sign up to go out and compete, but win races. And I think they can do that with this group.
We'll see if Christian Eckes can duplicate that Vegas win from a few years ago. Now, tomorrow it is primetime hoops on Fox. Catch Big East Player of the Year favorite Adama Sanago as he leads 14th ranked UConn in a conference battle against Villanova. It all tips off at 7 Eastern on Fox. You don't want to miss it, and you don't want to miss the truck race because we're getting closer and closer to that. There's a look at Jake Garcia, just a little over 13 minutes, the countdown to the command to start engines. We're going to give our race predictions and more coming up after this.
I can't wait to watch these trucks at Vegas.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We're going to see a lot of action when they throw the green flag.
That'll get you pumped up for Vegas. We know that driver is ready. Carson Hocevar starting 8th, still looking for his first win in the Truck Series. It could be today. Also another driver looking for that first win is Haley Deegan. She has a good starting spot, starting 5th for the race, and hopefully we'll have a good showing this evening in Vegas. What about Grant Enfinger? He's a past winner out at that racetrack from 2018. He will start 17th, hoping to get a potential win in the second race of the year. And we talked about the pit crews having issues traveling out to Las Vegas. Here's some news from our NASCAR insider Bob Pockers tweeting. FlightAware says flight landed. Plane has about 10 crews on it. There's expected to be an escort to the track for them, and NASCAR security will try to get them inside as quickly as possible. So that is great news for those teams. All right, time now for our race picks, who we believe will be victorious out there in Las Vegas. And Trevor, you're up first.
I get first pick?
You do.
Well, I'm going with the obvious. Kyle Busch on the pole.
Yeah,
the man is rolling right now.
Yeah.
Wow, Rowdy Busch, of course. Low-hanging fruit there he had to pick.
Well, you go first.
Well, Ty Majeski was fast the last 7 or 8 races last year. I think him and Joe Scheer pick right up where they left off, and he's going to get it done tonight.
All right.
Okay, well, my pick is one of the drivers we heard from with Josh Sims earlier, Christian Eckes, guys.
Wow.
He's won at
I like
Vegas in the past. I think Christian can get it done today.
We just left Zane Smith on the table again, y'all. We did it last week, and we shouldn't have.
I know. All right, well, we're going to find out momentarily because we're getting closer to racing, so we have to go out to Las Vegas and our trackside ceremonies.
And now at this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your hats as the Nellis Air Force Base Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. And please remain standing as MRO Chaplain Nick Terry offers tonight's invocation.
Heavenly Father, we're excited and ready for this truck race tonight. But before we race, Lord, we want to pause and thank you for the blessings in our lives and ask you to be with us tonight. And so, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here and enjoy racing tonight in Las Vegas. God, I pray for every driver. I pray for every team. I pray for every safety worker and official. And God, ask your blessing of protection over them tonight. God, we give you the glory for all these things. In Christ's name, amen.
And here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Nashville recording artist and TikTok country music artist of the year, Caleb Austin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright star through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's about that time, so close to racing in Vegas. What's the aggression going to be at stage 1?
High all the time at Vegas. You got to go for it.
Be nice and cool out. Track's going to have a lot of grip.
That's fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for Todd, Trevor, and myself, that does it for us here on race day. Time now to join the voices in the booth at Las Vegas. And we say hello to Jamie Little.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Yes, the sun has gone down. The temperatures have dipped a little bit. It is perfect conditions to go racing this evening. We welcome you to the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200. This is the Craftsman Truck Series live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Vegas, baby. A town where hopes and dreams come true. If you play your cards right. The Truck Series rolls in for a showdown under the lights.
Who's ready for a party in Sin City?
In the casinos, there's a game for everyone. Out here, the name of the game is speed.
We're in Vegas. Who's gonna get on a heater?
It's anyone's to win. Go on, take a chance. Go all in, or be forced to fold.
Oh, there's a crash.
All bets are on who'll make their best play to earn victory tonight. The Craftsman Truck Series starts now on FS1.
It's Vegas, baby. Look at that strip. Absolutely beautiful. But we've got lights. We're going to have fireworks. You name it. We will have it right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we're so happy you're joining us this evening. I'm Jamie Little. He's Phil Parsons and Michael Waltrip. And you know, gentlemen, we've heard all day long. Everybody says the season starts now. Well, in reality, it did start 2 weeks ago at Daytona.
There's a lot of guys that wished it hadn't, though, the way their night turned out. We wanted to kick the season off with a bang. Well, we did. Couldn't stop banging into each other. There were truckers running all over each other. And then the rains came, Phil. And when the rain officially called the race and made it official, guess who was standing in victory lane for the second year in a row? Zane Smith. And his umbrella. That umbrella was his best friend. It wasn't even raining. He was wearing that umbrella just to tell people it's going to rain. But I'm telling you, Jamie, talking to several of the competitors here, they're afraid of the big ones here tonight. This is a 1.5 mile drafting track. You have to be so aggressive on the start and restarts, you push the issue. That could cause issues again for these guys. So maybe their season won't even start here. Might have to wait a couple more weeks, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch it. Speeds over 180 miles an hour, 3 and 4 wide on these restarts are going to be crazy.
And oh, by the way, a guy named Kyle Busch is back too.
Oh, by the way, did he win last year here?
He did not.
That's right.
He did not. But everyone says he's the favorite here tonight. What he's done in this series is quite amazing, really. Is at this racetrack and in his entire career, look at 62 career wins, which is the most by far in the series. He's won almost 40% of the starts that he ran in the Truck Series. He's won in 17 different years, 10 years in a row. He's been in the top 2 in an incredible 20 of his last 24 starts. It's amazing. There's nothing he hasn't done in this series. But there were a lot of questions over the winter. He switched manufacturers to Chevrolet. He brought new drivers in. But when qualifying happened today, it's old Kyle Busch. Fast by about 0.2 of a second.
All right, Phil, we hear you. It looks pretty good for Kyle.
Pretty good. 38% of the time that he has been in a truck, he has won the race. It's been incredible. But listen, Kyle Busch is not the only driver in the field. We have plenty of stories tonight. We have 2 pit reporters covering all the action, Jamie Howe and Josh Sims. Let's kick it off with you, Josh. Good evening.
Well, Jamie, you know you never want to start a race without your pit crew, but that's the case for roughly 10 of the teams in the Truck Series here tonight. So teams from KBM, from ThorSport, from McAnally, from Hallmark Friesen found out that the plane that was supposed to take their crew out here was broken this morning, so they had to send another plane to get them. The result, a big delay. So the crews landed roughly 15 minutes ago, but now they have to get here to the track. So a lot of these teams have had to pull crews from the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series and anywhere else they could get to start this race. Now the good news, the crews that did land will get a police escort to get here. The start of the race delayed just a little bit, but these teams have been scrambling all day, and they'll start the race without their normal pit crew for roughly 10 of the teams, Jamie.
Josh, fresh off of his Xfinity win last week, John Hunter Nemechek returns to the Truck Series for the next 2 races with a new-to-him team in Tricon Garage. We see him on board the number 17 Toyota Tundra, and 6 of his 15 wins in the series have come on the intermediate track, so he's looking to bring that experience to this team. And he admitted after practice that this truck is very different than what he's been used to running the last couple of seasons, but he thinks that this race is going to come to him. They said Tricon has put in all of the work in the offseason. He thinks that tonight is going to come down to execution. JB?
Yeah, and it's good to see John Hunter Nemechek in the field. He knows what it takes to get to victory lane, but it's going to be interesting because he's going against his old boss man, Kyle Busch, tonight.
But I think he put his name squarely on the favorite role in the Xfinity Series with that big win last Sunday night.
And did Kyle Busch, the truck driver, make himself the favorite for the Cup Series championship, getting that big win right out of the gates with Richard Childress Racing?
He's pretty good in that series, too, isn't he?
He's got a nice record going.
Yeah, he does.
And it had been a while for Kyle, and he admitted it was very good for his confidence, good for that whole RCR team. And I think he's looking to do the same thing with Kyle Busch Motorsports tonight. Just prove that changing manufacturers, getting new drivers, it's all going to be the same. They're going to be just as fast. As you see the drivers getting the window nets locked in, everybody's ready to go. Let's go trackside for the command to fire engines.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome NBA legend and global ambassador and current CEO of IP Femba, Jerome Williams.
Drivers, start your engine!
City of entertainment, the bright lights and glamour. Who will be the star of the show tonight? 200 miles coming up. We welcome you back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is race number 2 in the Camping World Truck Series action. Drivers are fired up and ready to go as they roll off pit road now. A lot of great stories throughout the field, including some drivers doing double duty, even triple duty, as we mentioned with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch starting on pole here at Las Vegas. First pole, actually, since 2019.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
Every other record you mentioned, Phil, that's incredible.
See, Raja Karuth is in the field. He's moved up full-time to this series. He has the Wendell Scott Tribute. This weekend is NASCAR's annual Wendell Scott Tribute Weekend. Scott is a NASCAR Hall of Famer. He made history as the first black driver to compete in NASCAR's premier division back in 1961. And this weekend here in Las Vegas, every car and every truck competing will be carrying a special decal commemorating Scott. Very nice tribute there. And Raja's truck, it looks great, but his car looks exactly like the truck. A beautiful paint scheme.
So cool to see Raja making his way full-time to the Craftsman Truck Series. Let's look at our Craftsman truck. Track description, 1.5 miles in length. You can see variable banking, and that's why I feel in the corners we're going to see these guys running up high, running down low. There's lots of options, and that's what race car drivers love, options.
Let's take a look at our race analysis here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As you can see, this race is 134 laps, just over 200 miles. Our stage 1 is 30, stage 2 is 30. Our final stage is 74 laps. You can see the pit window between 50 and 55. That means we will have a pit stop in that final stage. And Chandler Smith won this race last year.
Yes, he did in commanding fashion. That last lap was something we're still talking about.
Thrilling race.
Let's take a look now at the starting grid, sponsored by Victoria's Voice Foundation. We talked about Kyle Busch. Starting on pole once again, you got Ty Majeski, new number this year, remember, the 98.
Yeah, so hot at the end of last year. How about Brad Holmes and Haley Deegan? What great efforts for those two drivers back in row 3.
Zane Smith trying to go back-to-back. He's alongside Carson Hocevar, and there's a guy that I think you're going to have to watch tonight, Ben Rhodes in that 99 truck.
Matt Crafton has finished second 3 times here, has never gone to victory lane.
Team's pretty good here, though, and John Hunter Nemechek back. He's going to do a handful of races this year. We'll see if he's still got it. And Corey Heim in the 11.
There you see Grant Enfinger. He's got our driver's eye camera. That's going to be fun to ride along on his helmet. Matt DiBenedetto, Daniel Dye. See if we can catch up with Ross Chastain. Hey, Ross Chastain, it's Boyer in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, I'll talk to this Boyer.
Waltrip and Parsons, Jamie Little, we're up here. Tell me what it's going to be like. You got to go to the rear of the field. I know it's going to be fun for you. Can you run 3-4 wide at this racetrack?
Absolutely, Mikey. It's turned into such a cool track for our Worldwide Express Chevy. Yeah, we'll be coming from the back, but that's what's so cool is I have options. I have from the white line to the yellow wall that I hope I stay off of.
Well, I hope you do too. It's going to be fun to watch. Have fun, buddy.
Thank you.
He's so mellow, so relaxed back there, but he's going to put on a show. You have no doubt.
It's crazy. It's like when these guys put on their helmets, they turn into different people, and he's a great example of that. Just calm, collected. When they say go, he's set on go.
Split personalities. But we have a lot of stories tonight. Let's check in with our pit reporters once again.
Well, you know what? If you're looking for a driver to maybe surprise the field, look no further than Tanner Gray in the 15 truck, coming off his best career finish of second at Daytona. And his numbers here at Vegas, probably his best of any track statistically. When I asked him about it, he said, I don't know why I'm so good here. He said, I've always had fast trucks and been able to run really well here. He said the next step in his career is to be able to keep that consistency throughout the season. Well, he's going to have to start at the back of the field because they had to change a fuel pump. So Tanner is going to have his work cut out for him here tonight. Jamie?
Well, Grant Enfinger admits that his 17th place starting position is disappointing, given that this is a brand new truck for the mile-and-a-half this season, and expectations on speed were much higher. But what he was encouraged by after practice and qualifying is the handling. He and his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, believe that with their maneuverability, aggression to get through the field is not only going to be possible, but it's going to be mandatory in order to make up any ground tonight. Jamie?
Thank you, Josh and Jamie. Glad you brought your coats. It's going to be in the 40s, I think, for this race. And guys, we have a couple onboards tonight.
Yeah, we're going to get a view from Daniel Dye's Chevrolet. He's got the Race to Stop Suicide Chevy, and he's going to start in the 20th position.
We're also going to ride along with a former winner here, Grant Enfinger. This is the Champion Power Equipment Chevy, and he will have the driver's eye camera that we love so much. We're going to ride along with him and get a great ride and see how bumpy this racetrack really is. And he's going to start from the 17th spot.
Looks all cool and collected there, but wait till you see the driver's eye. He's going to be bouncing all over that truck.
Hey, you guys, you could see perfectly in there. These guys have something new on the trucks this year, the digital dash. And I'm hearing that this is something to watch for pit stops. These guys could be thrown off, maybe some pit penalties tonight, speeding penalties.
There's a lot of stuff going on pit road right now, Jamie, between the guys that aren't here yet and the new digital dash, trying to make sure they nail their speeds perfectly. Let's check in on the 98 and see what's happening in his world. He's got Tim Duggar riding along.
Hey, all I can tell you is that they're en route, okay? Corelli's to my right. His son fits the tune is on the plane, so they're on their way, police escort, but I know it doesn't help you right now. So the two crews, ETA is 6:37. Not sure where our guys are compared to that, but that just gives you a little bit of insight, okay? Okay, 10-4, they should be in the same boat, I hope.
Ty Majeski's just wondering what's going to happen if I got to come to pit road. Who's going to be? It could look like an episode of Keystone Cops. Guys running every which way trying to figure this out.
Is Joe Shear Jr. going to be the jack man, or is he going to change tires, you think?
This reminds me of back in the day when you had to build the engine, tune the car, and jump over the wall and change tires.
Exactly.
Well, you bring up a great point. what happens if they come down pit road and they need service?
They do the best they can, because they're going to pick 5 guys from whether it's guys from the shop or whatever they may be able to find in one of the other garages and make it happen, because they have no choice.
Herb Record's been on that 98 with Thor Swords for 15 years. Isn't that great? Also, it just tells you what an organization that is. Matt Crafton's had Menards for over 20, I think. So a lot of good support for that Thor Sport group.
Tim Duggar could maybe go to victory lane tonight. That team Thor Sport pretty good around Las Vegas, 4 wins.
Well, he's got to get ready for his concert at 10 o'clock too, so he can't spend too much time at victory lane.
Take your pictures, kiss the baby, shake the hand,
That's
get down
right.
to the strip.
We're going to go green, guys. This is pretty awesome. You see down on the bottom, Nick Sanchez. His eyes have got to be wide open, lined up right next to the boss, Kyle Busch. And then out back, we've had several fast trucks go to the back. It'll be interesting to watch those guys come through the field.
Ross Chastain's one of those. You talked to him, Mike.
See that too with Nick Sanchez. Rev Racing, but they have that technical alliance with KBM. So those trucks on the front row set up identically. And he showed great speed. They qualified first, second, and third.
Yeah, about the 4 truck is Chase Purdy. What a great start for him in that KBM truck.
Beautiful evening under the lights.
No umbrellas.
No umbrellas, but I believe
Well, Zane
did bring
has
the
his
umbrella
with him for sure.
warming up those tires. I'm just thinking of all the emotions that these teams that don't have pit crews here right now must be thinking. Just let's be clean, get to the end of stage 1. Pace truck is off. Kyle Busch will lead him. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Las Vegas.
You see already off the racetrack, searching for room to make passes. 3 wide. That's awful tight.
Tight 3 wide.
Haley Deegan in the middle, wiggling there. So hard to hang onto your truck when you're in the middle. That put her in a tough spot early.
Saw Ben Rose, that orange truck, put a big block on his teammate, Matt Crafton, on lap 1.
Well, if you can't block your teammate, who you got to block, Phil?
Haley Deegan in that yellow truck on the inside. Best starting position on a paved track for her. High expectations.
What about Ross Chastain? He's looking for a hole up high. He said he could go all the way up to that outside wall, and you can see he's making moves.
Can you tell him we're going to have the ISO camera on him? We just need a side-by-side.
There he is. Good call, Director Little.
Thank you to our team. They listen and deliver.
What about these 2 young racers making a name for themselves here in the Truck Series, driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports? They're right behind Kyle now, but the momentum loss there opens the door up top for Ty Majeski.
There's Zane Smith, too. Zane's right in there, right behind Ty. That's the 38 truck for Zane.
Love looking at these trucks spark like that under the lights. Just something, that same effect you don't get when it's a day race.
Look at the battle for the lead. Nick Sanchez pulled right up on Kyle Busch. Nick's got the high line going.
Got to remember how important the draft is here. These trucks punch such a big hole in the air. The draft is really, really critical here.
Ty Majeski to the inside and the 98 going inside. Nick Sanchez on the outside.
Getting a report that Stuart Friesen will have to serve a drive-through penalty. He pulled out a line early before the green flag. That's against NASCAR rules. He'll go down. Probably won't lose a lap, but certainly puts himself in a bind here early. There's that number 52 Hallmark truck.
Yeah, he's still on pit road as the field leaves turn 4. He's going to be really, I think he is going to lose a lap.
Christian Eckes getting sideways with the 38 of Zane Smith all over him.
You're right, Phil. They're getting ready to go around the outside of Stuart Friesen as Stuart gets up to speed on the apron. There's that 52 truck. He's now the first truck a lap down.
He needs a quick caution right now because there may be some trucks that get lapped if we go all the way to that lap 30 into first stage.
Golly, you got to be impressed with Nick Sanchez. He's all over Kyle Busch.
There's Eckes and Zane Smith side by side.
Ooh, what a handful of steering wheel that Christian Eckes got as the 38 of Zane Smith pulled across the back of his truck. It just pulled him back in over there.
He's had a handful of steering wheel since they threw the green. Phil, he started 12th and is already up to 4th. What a great move.
Josh?
Yeah, and down here with Chris Lawson with the 38 team, one of those teams affected by the crew having that initial flight canceled, and now you got the delay. So what's the situation for you guys now?
It looks like we're just going to have to do it, make it happen, and we got our road guys here, so whatever it takes. I think they're still about 25 minutes out, so we'll see. Thanks, and good luck, Chris.
Phil, didn't you call it whatever it takes?
Yes.
That's exactly what they're going to have to do. Look at the battle for the lead. After practice today, we assumed Kyle Busch was going to drive off away from these guys. Nick Sanchez down low, digging, trying to get the lead away from the boss.
And how about Kyle Busch? Now that's his quasi-teammate, and he pulls down and side drafts him to keep him from passing him.
Got to check him for tough. See what this kid's got for talent. Hang on to that, baby. Driving down on the bottom is very difficult. You don't have the aerodynamics on your truck that you need to handle perfectly. It's really a challenge to go low.
Daniel Dye with issues. Look like he may have gone around.
Is that the caution that Stuart Friesen needed, or we say green?
Is that left rear tire flat on that truck? I believe it is.
I believe he's going to make it down pit road. We're going to stay green here.
Man, there's some great battles on this racetrack. Look at Rhodes down on the bottom versus Kaz Grala.
Nick Sanchez leads this race. The 21-year-old from Miami won the ARCA Menard Series Championship last year, was rewarded, has moved up full-time, driving for Rev Racing, the same team he won with in ARCA.
And he had never raced a truck till Daytona a couple weeks ago, but he ran an Xfinity car here last fall and finished 12th, so he has some experience at this racetrack, and man, is he putting it to good use.
And it's a collaboration between Rev Racing and KBM, Kyle Busch Motorsports, providing that equipment. So I tell you that to tell you this, Phil. Kyle knows how good that truck is, but he also knows this kid doesn't have a lot of experience. That is impressive.
I'll tell you, the man on his pit box, Danny Stockman, the minds behind that. He told me today also that truck that's leading this race is the same truck that won this race last year with Chandler Smith. So they knew what they had coming into tonight.
Danny Stockman has 3 wins here, Jamie. And we were talking before the race this morning, and I told you if Nick Sanchez outran Kyle Busch tonight, we would have a huge story. You said I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Well, I am surprised to see it, but it's happening.
Kyle's about to lose that second spot to Majeski in the 98.
Ty Majeski picks right up where he left off last season. Maybe a different number, but same team, same speed as he gets back. He slips just behind Kyle Busch. They're 1, 2, 3, and now, but Christian Eckes is on the gas. Nice run for him this opening segment. We'll step aside. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, where Kyle Busch has retaken the lead. Nick Sanchez in the 2 has slipped back, but we've got a battle on our hands. Back in the 13th spot, we 4 or 5 trucks fighting for one position.
That's right, and it's still continuing there. Haley Deegan up on the outside, Matty D and the Rockley Roofing Chevy on the bottom. Nice move around that corner for Matty.
Yeah, during the commercial break, Corey Heim and Haley Deegan were battling side by side.
What about Nick Sanchez? 18 years old today in this battle as well.
Battle for 6th here. Chase Purdy in the 4. Former Las Vegas winner, and Ben Rhodes. It's battle for 6th right there.
I love to see Chase Purdy having this good run here.
When we were in break, Brett Holmes in the 32 had gotten into the wall, so he brought it down pit road.
Oh, another truck.
That's Brett again.
Yeah, that was from the first wreck. He got damage on the right side and blew a tire. I think it's over now. Caution flag is out.
Looked like he was able to save it that first time around. This one, not so much.
Big break for
well, good news is they don't have to pit yet. They probably won't pit yet because they only have 3 sets of tires in the pits, and the caution flags are going to give them a little extra time before they get to the end of that stage.
That's a tough break for Brett. They had a great qualifying run, and then just bounced off the wall, and this that resulted in what happened here.
So look back exactly what happened to Brett Holmes the first time.
Right off of turn number 4, he just loses the front end, it looks like, and made some pretty significant contact, cut down the right front tire, and more than likely he probably had a rub. Watch. Bam. He went straight into obviously the right front tire went down again, probably a fender brace or something like that. Had rubbed that right front tire.
Brett Holmes, a rookie this year. His team has decided to go full-time racing in the Truck Series.
I said Nick Sanchez in the 35. It's Jake Garcia, 18 years old today. Talked to him.
You got the birthday right, for sure.
Yeah, talked to him down in the garage area. He said, I'm nervous. And I said, well, you should be. I mean, you're getting ready to go 180 miles an hour down into these corners and try to run wide open. Speaking of running wide open, what speed do you think they got here at?
This is the news. Oh, hey, nice to have you guys. I can't say I've seen this before, but the pit crews actually arrived during the race.
We've got 11 laps to go in this stage, and those guys will be able to change clothes and get to pit road in time for this first pit stop at the end of the stage.
So they had plane troubles earlier today back in North Carolina. Finally, they were able to get on another flight, but they were delayed again. So imagine all the hours flying cross country to get to Las Vegas. And now we're in the middle of a race.
Well, they made it, so hopefully everybody can have their crews and a normal pit stop here in 10 laps or so.
And those weren't the guys that were really feeling all the pressure. It was the guys that were here on pit road that were going to have to do those pit stops instead of them.
Chris Lawson going, yeah, we've got our road guys here. Let's see what they're going to do.
Big break there for Stuart Friesen. We talked about him being a lap down. He'll get the free pass now and get back on the lead lap. So, and you know, Phil, this early in the race, he can overcome that.
Oh, yeah.
He can overcome the mistake he made on the start. Plenty of time to race back into contention. Now, the other story, Daniel Dye there in the 43, he's a couple laps down, maybe 3 after his problem. So it's going to be hard for him to.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tougher for Daniel Dye.
Yeah.
But he needs to stay out there, get some experience, very little experience, 1 full year in the ARCA Menard Series. Did a great job, actually finished second in points to Nick Sanchez last year.
This is also new to him. Obviously, he's never raced anything here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and just the second time he's been in a truck. So tough break. Tough way to start this race. We're under caution here at Las Vegas for the first time. Tomorrow it's primetime hoops on Fox. Catch Big East Player of the Year favorite Adama Sanogo as he leads 14th ranked UConn in a conference battle against Villanova. It all tips off at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Getting crunch time here in the basketball, college basketball.
Yes, indeed. And we had some action on pit road.
A lot of action on pit road.
Including Kyle Busch.
Well, you want to see what a pit stop looks like when you don't have your regular guys, and I think they did this just to get it out of the way so that they knew they were going to lose track position because more than half the field stayed out. But you can see these guys don't do this regularly, and it was a bit of a struggle.
Some of obviously Sheldon Creed's RCR guys with the wheeling uniforms.
That just shows you how good the people that are trained to do this are. These guys are professionals. They're getting the job done. They're going to make sure they don't make any mistakes, everything tight, but probably up into the 20-some seconds to change 4 tires when it usually takes about 12 to 14.
Or it might have been 35 seconds.
Yeah, maybe it was getting on up there.
And just a reminder, some of the teams did arrive, but they have to get into their gear, get out to pit road. So it was a mixed bag there.
And there's Kyle back on the track, and be interested to see this, hear this.
I got a loose one. Just get a torque wrench and just do it right. Just get everything set right.
Okay, you heard Kyle Busch.
I said no mistakes, Bill.
Well, mostly no mistakes.
He's got a loose wheel.
How about that? So he'll come back, but this I think is a good strategy for these guys that didn't have their pit crew, and also just in general, Phil, because they don't pit. They won't pit at the stage break.
Right.
Brennan Poole.
See the South Point truck going behind the wall for Brennan Poole.
Michael Gahn, the Gahn family, such friends of NASCAR, getting that South Point on that 46 truck.
That's Brett Holmes' car. They're trying to hook up and take off pit road. And there's the crew. That's Zane Smith's team.
That's a hustle. Here comes Kyle back down to check out his wheel situation.
I think I liked waiting to the end of the stage when my crew was going to be on pit road and pitting then. Obviously, for the guys racing for a championship, get those stage points here at the end of the stage and then have your regular crew to come do your pit work.
Now we had to get around the wrecker that's still there, trying to hook up the 32 of Brett Holmes. It's kind of one issue after another. Josh.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an issue. As you can see down here, the wrecker is in the issue. Now, Kyle Busch, as you heard, came over the radio saying he had a loose wheel, so they knew they had to come back in and fix it. The problem is the wrecker getting the truck behind him in his pit box. Not a smooth pit stop there, but with good reason, an issue in the box with the wrecker in the way, guys.
And you're allowed to have that right rear tire out of your pit box because there's a lot of times he would have to drive around another truck and that right rear would hang out, and so that was perfectly okay.
And the wrecker was in the way.
And the wrecker was in the way. They may have given him a pass anyway.
Right.
But you had a really good point, Phil. Why not just wait to the end when you know your crew is there?
Well, let's see how this shakes out when the stage ends and what Kyle does then. And just another note, Jamie, on that pit stop, John Hunter Nemechek was caught speeding, so he'll have to go toward the back.
And the thing is, remember, these teams only have 3 sets laying on pit road. Obviously, the teams that put tires on right then will only have 2 sets left, so they will definitely not put tires on at the end of this first stage.
There's a lot going on in Vegas.
The teams that just stopped anyway to put tires on.
So we're in stage number 1. 7 laps to go. Nick Sanchez in the 2 leads him here with Ty Majeski.
They're going to spread out as they go down toward turn 1, as you can see.
All the way to the grass.
3 and 4 wide into turn 1. Ty Majeski on the outside. Nick Sanchez holds it on the bottom.
Stay up and pull on him real quick. Stay off. Run's coming to you guys now. 3/4 off top lane.
I can't tell you how hard that is what Nick Sanchez is doing, running that low line with a truck right on your side. It wants to really upset the handling of your truck. And behind them, 3 wide.
Looks like Raja in the middle back there in that 1 truck in that 3 wide battle.
Zane Smith ducks to the bottom. 3 wide for the lead, and it's Zane Smith to the lead.
That was a great scenario for Zane. Those trucks running side by side, and Nick Sanchez
is into the wall.
There it is. Lost the nose.
Lost the nose, got into Majeski a little bit, but he couldn't keep it on the wall.
That could be enough damage to cause that right front to blow out, Phil. We've seen it already.
You can look at all the damage to the right side. Watch, he's going to lose the nose here and move up. He's just going to clip Ty Majeski.
I think he lost the back, Phil, and just corrected a little bit, and then got into the other truck. And this is a battle for the lead.
Ty Majeski. Zane Smith coming off that win 2 weeks ago at Daytona, the defending series champion. I wondered what they were going to be able to do tonight. They were solid last year, finished second, but they had that pit road penalty, the lug nut issue, so he was disqualified.
What about this battle for the lead? I mean, they're 3 wide.
Is Christian going through the middle?
Christian Eckes up the middle in the 19, 3 wide.
Oh, me.
Down the backstretch they go.
Well, these truckers do some side drafting, don't they?
Now look at Matt DiBenedetto. He's right in this mix as well. I don't like this right now. There we go.
Around. Christian Eckes sideways into the wall.
And saves it.
What a save. Told you I didn't like that, Jamie.
Woo, 2 to go in this stage. Zane Smith. And Matt DiBenedetto, after all that, is second.
Christian's just trying to catch his breath there, the 19 truck.
Did you see him duck out of that 3 wide there? He said, I had enough already. Great save, though. That was amazing.
Heck of a save.
Battle for the 6th spot right there between Matt Crafton, Carson Hocevar. How about Ross Chastain? We looked at each other during the caution and said, well, Crosser really isn't making much progress. But here he is up in the top 10, and Nick Sanchez is on pit road.
Ben Rhodes looking on the outside of Matt Crafton.
Remember Ross Chastain, they had to make some changes after qualifying. He had an issue, fuel pressure problem, so he started in the back. Now he's up into 9th.
Final lap of the stage here.
Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, Matt DiBenedetto, Grant Enfinger. Flag is in the air. Zane Smith wins stage number 1.
How about Raja Caruth with a top 5 in this stage?
Zane Smith's 20th stage win. That's the first this season so far.
That was thrilling. We had a little bit of everything in that first stage, and Zane Smith had a strong truck here a year ago, won the season opener, gets to run some cup races. Life is good for Zane right now.
Looks like he has a water bottle on the grill. Here's that save. How in the world did he pull that off?
And look at Ben Rhodes tiptoeing behind him, making sure he had plenty of space.
I do believe you call that slideways. Well done, Christian Eckes. We'll be back with pit stops after this. Welcome back to the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200. Stage 1 has concluded. Zane Smith is the winner. And here's a look at the stage 1 results.
About Grant Enfinger, he was the highest finishing truck that pitted on lap number 21, got all the way to 4th.
Ross Chastain from the back up inside the top 10.
Pit road is open. They're coming your way, Jamie.
And for Matt DiBenedetto, the only change they're going to make here is going to be on the air pressure. He's just a tick too high. They asked him if he wanted any water or any tear-offs or anything, and he said, I am all good out here. Maybe a clean windshield. You give me a tear-off. Otherwise, they're going to take on 4 new tires. Josh?
Yeah, we'll start with the 98 of Ty Majeski. He said his truck was very solid in stage number 1. They're just going to get him 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments. In terms of the 38, not only the stage winner, but good news. His crew finally arrived with 6 to go in stage 1. So for his first pit stop, he gets his crew back. He was a stage winner and sit pretty heading out.
Clutch team right there. Straight off the plane. Police escort to the track. Got in their uniforms over the wall to pit that truck. Well done, guys.
They got warmed up running to the pit, though.
Yeah, they did.
They were ready to go.
And this round of pit stops looked a little bit different than those lap 21 pit stops.
I still like Kyle Busch pitting, even though it went wrong with that pit stop. They had a minute to complete a pit stop. Didn't really matter that he had to come back in and tighten up his tires because, as you see, the crew's showing up in a hurry.
Well done, guys. Got in their uniforms, went right to work, got the job done. We'll be back from Las Vegas. Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series rolls into Vegas, where every driver will lay it on the line and go for broke, looking for an early season checkered flag. The engines fire Sunday at 3 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And some big news coming just in the last couple of hours. Chase Elliott was injured in a snowboarding accident in Colorado. He will have surgery tonight. It's an injury of some sort to his left leg. All we do know is that he will be replaced by Josh Berry. He'll take over the 9 car starting tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern. We'll be practicing qualifying. They'll get things up to par, up to speed, and tough break for this team. They had a great run at Fontana.
Yeah, let's send our best wishes to Chase and a speedy recovery from this surgery tonight.
Certainly thinking of Chase Elliott and his family tonight.
There's that driver's eye. And how's that eye look when you look out the windshield and all you see is the pace truck, Phil?
And when he pulls off, maybe you won't see anything. That's
right.
going to be even better.
And then they get down to turn 1 and you're in the middle of 3 wide. That's how the truck races really work.
Perfect view. Jamie.
The one thing you may have noticed from that view inside of Grant Enfinger's truck was the fact that a dash was still not showing the RPM. He said that it is illuminated, so that he wanted to actually come in on that when the pits opened before the second stage started, and they told him, no, we're going to take our lumps. You just got to work with it all the way through the end of this stage.
Thanks, Jamie. Grant Enfinger, Carson Hocevar.
And did I tell you 3 wide middle?
Yes, you did.
Ross Chastain. What does Clint Boyer say? High, wide, and handsome. Here he comes with Kyle Busch right behind him.
How about his teammate Carson Hocevar, the 42, and Tanner Gray, the 15-1-2. Here comes Ross to the inside.
Oh, he's sided better of it, so Kyle takes advantage and goes high. He's going to make the run on the outside.
Are they 4 wide coming off turn 4?
It's crazy, Phil. They go every which way.
Carson Hocevar continues to lead. Tanner Gray coming off his career best finish at Daytona a couple of weeks ago. Some nice momentum on his side, but he's got a mirror full right now. Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain on their way.
You know, Tanner Gray is a winner, a former winner here.
But they go in a
across the street. Across the street.
NHRA.
Yeah, and Pro Stock division, former champion, youngest champion ever in NHRA Pro Stock.
What about that strong pass and move for Dean Thompson? Thompson up battling for 3rd spot.
Love that. We saw him get his feet wet last year, ran most of the season with Nice. Get a little bit loose.
Oh, he's in a tight spot.
It's his teammate, Tanner Gray.
Kyle Busch. Can he hang on to it? Nope. Carson Hocevar to the bottom.
That is amazing. Carson said he loved everything about his truck after qualifying, and look at this kid go.
He said he was the most excited he has ever been because he knew this truck was going to be everything.
The whole team, he said, their whole shop with all 3 trucks, he says Kyle Busch goes back to the lead on the inside.
See him riding over those bumps, just the sparks flying and how rough it is going through 1 and 2. Caution is out now for the 3rd time.
It's going to be a big break for Daniel Dye. He's going to get his 3rd of 3 laps back.
I think that's Matt Mills down on pit road. Spun off turn 4, I believe.
See it overheating a little bit at the base of the right side of the windshield, a little bit of water.
What about Daniel Dye? I mean, that's amazing. He got 3 laps back within about 10 laps.
Yeah, exactly.
The cautions all flew perfectly for that young man. Now he's back in contention.
Right along with him, you see the 20 of Matt Mills get really loose.
I love that. Fired up. Get on out of there.
You could hear he had that little hesitation and then just hammer down.
He had to try to figure out which way Matt was going to go. When he finally determined he was going to stay up near the wall, then he gassed her back up. Matt did a nice job of keeping that truck off the wall.
Those campers.
Chevrolet for Tyler Young.
Those campers right there had a nice view.
Yeah, they did.
There it is, sliding high up in turn 4. That's when you're sliding along field looking over your left shoulder thinking, please nobody hit me, please no one hit me.
Some fresh tires on there. Looks like they'll be okay to go.
Well, we've had a little bit of everything, wouldn't you say, folks?
Absolutely. And we're only 40 laps in.
A lot of side-by-side and 2 and 3 wide racing.
Josh.
Yeah, and Jamie, you were talking about how much Carson Hocevar on the 42 loves his truck heading into this race. We just came over the radio and just said about the 51, Kyle Busch is so fast. He said, I still need a little bit more rotation on the turns to be able to keep up with him. But really a big deal for him last year was passing Kyle Busch late in the race here at Vegas. He said that gave him a lot of confidence. He can race with a guy like that. He hopes this time around he can pass him for a win.
Yeah, Josh and Carson Hocevar, the 20-year-old. You know, kids like him, they love when Kyle Busch is in the field. He doesn't do it very often. He's only allowed to run 5 races. But when he's there and you're able to run around him, behind him, in front of him, you see what Kyle Busch does and what the magic of his ability and his skill and talent is.
What's amazing is 3 of our top 5 all had to start at the rear in this race. We had Tanner Gray had to start at the rear, Ross Chastain, and Kyle actually, because of a loose wheel, restarted after the first pit stop at the very back of the pack. More repairs on the 2 of Nick Sanchez.
That's too bad. That was such a good truck.
Oh, it's such a great start, too. He did a great job battling alongside Kyle Busch, taking the lead.
Led 8 laps.
Then it all went away off turn 2 and lost the back end, overcorrected just a bit, and got in the wall.
Good learning experience for him, though. Obviously a very fast truck, and he's going to continue to have fast trucks.
I think Kyle Busch would rather see Nick make a bit of a mistake running as fast as he was and being in the position he was than him just falling back and not being fast. So he can learn from that, as you said, Phil, and be a better racer.
So Zane Smith pitted there after he won that stage. He's already back up to 7th.
He's the front runner of our guys that pitted. Right behind him, Ben Rhodes, Corey Heim inside the top 10 as well.
Pit road is open. See if we have any takers.
I don't think anybody up front will.
I think they just need to catch their breath.
Yeah, they would need an adjustment because they don't really have enough tires to put tires on again here.
All right, we'll step aside momentarily. We'll get back to racing shortly. What a night it's been, not just on track, but look at these pit crews. True athletes traveling all day long. Get to the track. We're already 15 laps in. They have to put their uniforms on and boom, go to work and knock out a pit stop.
And run the pit road to get in position.
But like you said, they're nice and warmed up. These guys are incredible athletes, but I can only imagine the stress they were feeling trying to get here.
What about the stress Christian Eckes was feeling when he turned that Napa truck sideways off turn 2? That was amazing. Turn 3, excuse me. There's one of those athletes. There's Christian. Caught his breath now. He's probably going to be rolling pretty strong. Setting back in the 18th position right now.
Saw his pit crew gluing up some lug nuts. Don't see that in the Cup Series anymore. Kind of fun to go back and watch how it used to be done.
Here's our helmet cam looking at the driver's eye view from Grant Enfinger.
Still no tachometer.
And the way he manages that, Phil, he'll just have to follow someone down.
Yeah.
You know, he'll just judge his speed off of another truck.
The only disadvantage he would be is if he was leading when it came time to make a pit stop or a green flag pit stop.
Kyle Busch on the front row. Carson Hocevar, green flag once again. I think Zane's getting impatient back there, third in line on the bottom.
How about John Hunter Nemechek was all over the back of Carson Hocevar, but lost some momentum.
Zane saw opening and he went for it. And look at Ben Rhodes. He's even going to go lower and make the move on Zane.
John Hunter Nemechek in the 17 just kept falling back. Finally, he's got his momentum going forward once again.
You know what I saw there that I really liked, Michael? Zane could have easily pulled down and blocked Ben Rhodes. Did not do that. I think that will pay dividends for him in his entire career.
You got to be smart, Phil. You know, these race car drivers, they don't forget. You put somebody in a bad position as Kyle Busch falls back outside the top 3. These truckers are on it tonight, aren't they?
They are.
Battle for the lead. Ben Rhodes wants to lead. Carson Hocevar's got it. Zane Smith is all over him, but look at Kyle Busch come.
What did you say, Michael, a minute ago?
I was right. And now I'm wrong.
So is he falling back or is he going forward?
Make up your mind. He must have had a bit of a slip because that's a power move.
Reminder, Kyle Busch had pitted in the middle of stage 1, had a loose wheel, had to come back in. He had to use an RCR pit crew, and now he's fought his way back. This is a heck of a battle.
Heck of a race. Everything we thought we would see. Ross Chastain up into the top 5. Down on the bottom.
This is a great racetrack for this kind of racing. Michael talked about during the track description about the progressive banking, the fact that they can run all the way from the white line all the way up to the, Ross said, the yellow wall he'll run up to.
Last year, listening to you guys talk about Carson Hocevar, and once again he's runner-up. Once again he's runner-up. His time is coming. Leading this race.
Ooh, caution.
Caution out once again. The 45 goes around. That's Lawless Allen. Quite a bit of damage there on the deck lid in the rear end of that truck.
Clear to keep rolling here. Your tires are up.
I'm not sure all of it. I think the right front.
And I tagged the wall with the bed.
Yeah, the right front's flat.
He was running 21st at the time. He's going to have to park it or not.
Maybe not.
They'll make repairs on that truck. They'll get him back out.
I just like his sponsor.
It's a great sponsor.
They dig holes in the ground and park your car in it.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, they can park hundreds of cars underground if you need to.
It's a good sponsor. Makes sense, right? Here's what happened.
Middle of 3 wide.
We saw some
so
of the
vulnerable right there, isn't he, Michael?
We've seen young drivers make that mistake repeatedly, Phil. They don't understand or anticipate how much downforce you lose when you stick it in the middle like that.
View from Daniel Dye.
Wow.
That's not the first time that's happened to Daniel's tonight.
Been behind about everything that happened and then actually spun himself early in the race.
Just looks so crazy real time, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Great shot for our Fox Sports camera folks getting the action.
Nick Sanchez did a nice job avoiding Lawless. That was T-Bone on the camera with that shot.
Didn't miss a bit. These cautions have really provided a gleam of hope for Nick Sanchez. He's the first truck laps down. He's 2 down. And then Matt Mills will be getting the free pass.
Yeah, then I think Nick would be next in line. Yeah. And we know we're going to get a caution here in about 10 laps.
So you got to have hope, and he's got just that.
Well, this is the 4th caution this evening. We've had 10 in each of the last 2 races. So do you guys think we hit the 10 cautions?
No,
yes.
No.
Yes and no.
No.
Jamie.
And Stuart Friesen has brought that number 52 truck into pit lane for the 2nd time tonight. This is the first pit stop, though, that his crew is actually doing. It's going to be 4 tires and down 1 turn of the track bar. And the first pit stop that they came in, Tyler Ankram's crew actually helped him out and went over the wall. So that was a clean execution for them tonight.
Is this some strategy to maybe not pit, Phil?
Yeah, I think so. Just like we saw the first. Yeah, saw the trucks pit on lap number 21 before the stage ended at 30. About the same situation here.
It's a good way to get some track position for that final run.
And we talked about it during the race analysis. You have to make a pit stop on that final stage anyway.
And plus, you know, I've been watching the lap times. We don't see a great deal of fall off. So I like that plan.
We watched during practice. You and I were commenting on Kyle Busch. I don't think he ran 12 laps in practice. His first 12 laps, and his times didn't vary a 1/10 of a second.
There's that number 51. Zars Transport truck.
And I think they're going to be on board for all 5 races that Kyle's going to run this year.
That's fun to say.
It's always good to see new sponsors coming into the sport, supporting the truckers and these teams. It is the city of entertainment. I want to know who's going to be the star. Plenty more action from Las Vegas. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. First race of 14 under the lights for the camp. I almost said it, the Craftsman Truck Series racing this year. We're going to have 14 races under the lights, and I love this. Sparks and all kinds of action.
Great racing tonight, though. From the drop of the green flag, they've been 2, 3, 4 wide.
And Phil, we said it. They're going to run into each other. We've seen a lot of that. When you race the way they're racing, there has to be contact. But I love the battles, the intense runs up front for the lead. We've seen it all throughout the field, and we've seen a lot of wrecks, too.
I tell you, these truckers won't give each other an extra inch. I mean, if somebody gets on the inside, then they get right down beside them and side draft.
Such great racing. And, you know, we've talked a lot about Kyle Busch. He's led the most laps, but it's anybody but him right now.
Carson Hocevar has his number right at the moment.
Carson Hocevar, you got Ben Rhodes on the outside. Can they hold Kyle Busch off? Kyle with a big push to the 42.
Will he make it 3 wide?
I think Carson protected that lane pretty effectively and got the push that got him the lead. There you see Tanner Gray down on the bottom trying to get around Ben Rhodes, and look who's back. The Napa truck. After that big slide and save, he's going down 3 wide again.
Nice move by Christian Eckes in that 19 truck.
What a day it's been for, night it's been for him.
I love the draft. Will not let these trucks get away from each other.
And then 3 wide as they head into turn 1. Ben Rhodes has been up there. He's led 1 lap tonight.
Remember a little bit of a shakeup at ThorSport. They broke up this championship-winning combo of Ben Rhodes and Rich Lushes. Rich moved over to Haley Deegan's truck. J-Rod, ooh, trouble.
Caution out for the 5th time.
Chris Wright in the 0-2.
Chris Wright, I believe that was right off of turn 2 there.
Yeah, serious damage. He was running 21st.
Yeah, still on the lead lap, but as you mentioned, pretty serious damage. That'll be a break for Nick Sanchez. You were talking about him, Michael. He's gonna get a lap back here, and then more than likely, when the stage ends, he's gonna get his other lap back.
That's incredible. We've seen that with 2 drivers being able to overcome some early mistakes and get back into contention.
Yeah, Daniel Dye got all 3 laps back. Nick Sanchez now going to get a lap back.
Yeah, that one's hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, you said the auto park it guy would have to park it, Jamie. He's back out there. He's got his truck tuned up and still moving along.
He's still on the lead lap.
Jamie.
We've talked all about the crew members that were delayed in getting here. I mentioned on that last round of pit stops that Stuart Friesen's crew went over the wall for the 2nd stop, not the 1st. Ira Hesse, you're one of the crew members. You do the front tires for Stuart Friesen. What kind of adrenaline was it like to come to pit lane for the first time after just arriving at the racetrack?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We literally ran into the racetrack. Actually, the guards let us park in the coach lot or whatever, so we ran in, literally changed, came here, and jumped off the wall. So I mean, it was definitely different than our normal weekends.
It's a normal day at the racetrack. Josh.
Yeah, and the pit stops are happening now as the 51 of Kyle Busch is going to come in and pit. They had their issues on pit road earlier in the race. Of course, back on the lead lap, running in the top 3, and now 51 just looking for a clean pit stop as they come in and get tires and fuel. The 38 of Zane Smith also coming in. Zane's been pretty happy with that truck so far tonight. He's also getting 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, I figured we would see some mixed strategies again, Phil. Guys that are electing to get to pit road, get their pit stop over with, and then stay out on the next break. But then about half the field elected to stay on the racetrack. I think that's why we've seen so much intense racing, is because of the differing strategies, comers and goers, as we race toward this second stage.
Yeah, some trucks with more laps on tires than others.
Kyle Busch had his own pit crew there, by the way. 2 different teams pitting him tonight.
Chase Purdy up in that 3rd spot. He's done a nice job of hanging in there and learning a lot.
Absolutely. Carson Hocevar, your leader in Las Vegas. Welcome Welcome back to the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200. Victoria's Voice Foundation promotes programs that bring awareness to drug addiction and overdoses. Partnering with the largest school districts in Florida and Nevada, Victoria's Voice Foundation has helped adopt educational programs around the topic of drug addiction with professional speakers for students and parents on life skills, purposeful living, and the reality behind addiction. To learn more, head to victoriasvoice.foundation.com.
Great cause.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
So cool to be able to bring attention to that foundation and their causes.
Going to have one lap shootout to end this stage.
What do you think about that,
Oh
Bill?
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Are you sure we're going to have a one lap shootout, or might we just have a half a lap shootout?
It could be a half. Hopefully we at least get to the start finish line to start it.
Look at that tack just not moving. That's just really interesting. Just something that these guys are using different this year, and it's taking a little getting used to. And
Just got to know the end goal that this might not give us the best shot to win the race, but this might give us the best shot to go to the next round whenever that round comes.
That's exactly right. We're gaining stage points. Yep. Putting some in the bank. And he can overcome this. He could still win this race.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I like the strategy here.
Carson Hocevar, Ben Rhodes, green flag. 2 laps to go in stage number 2.
I'll be shocked if we don't get at least 3 wide here shortly.
They're working on it. There it is.
Up the middle. Tom Majeski.
Look at that big block that Hosey's going to leave the bottom open. We're 4 wide now.
Matt Craftsman up the bottom. Look at Hocevar. Close the door.
Hocevar hangs on. Ben Rhodes right behind him.
What a mess behind him. Look at this.
4 wide still. Coming off turn 4.
Chase Purdy down on the bottom. Can he get the spot?
Look at all the contact back there.
They hold it together.
Kyle Busch is in the middle of that somewhere.
Man,
that's a mess. Look at him bouncing off each other.
Haley Deegan.
John Hunter Nemechek.
John Hunter Nemechek. He goes into the wall.
I think Ross Chastain got a piece of that as well.
And the caution is out for the 6th time tonight.
Well, you had to know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was just too crazy back there.
Carson Hocevar wins stage number 2.
They made it 1 lap. They didn't make it 2.
Hey.
His truck is a little bit shorter than he started tonight's race.
That's got to be a great feeling for Carson, due to the fact that, Jamie, we talked earlier, he loved his truck. He said, I have everything I need to win this race, and he's proven that he knows exactly what he's talking about.
3rd career stage win for Carson Hocevar. There's Phil Gould, crew chief.
So much success with Ross over there at Nice Motorsports. Phil and Ross made a great team.
I think Ross was right in the middle of that mess and did a great job.
I think he got a piece of it, didn't he?
He's right on John Hunter when John Hunter went around. There's that 41 truck.
Just left side looks fine. I'm not sure he didn't get a little touch on the right side, but I'm not positive.
Saw Haley Deegan in the 13. And we'll see what happened right here.
Well, it started about right here, Phil, when they tried to go 4 wide and probably made it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
contact there.
Max Gutierrez, and then up top, Christian Eckes is trying to get on the outside of Haley, and they stuff it 4 wide. Does John Hunter, and this is where it all goes wrong.
It's John Hunter and Haley got together there.
Look at Ross.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right there into the nose of John Hunter Nemechek and kept going.
But not hard contact. You can see a little bit of damage to the nose of John Hunter's truck. Obviously came from Ross's truck.
Let's get a better look here between Haley Deegan and John Hunter and Eckes. They just
squeezed Haley a little bit between John Hunter and Christian Eckes, and neither one of them had really forced the issue. Christian was right up against the wall. John Hunter, you know, felt like he left enough room there.
You think Daniel Dye's seen enough action tonight?
He's right. He's been behind every single thing that happened.
Every time there's a crash, that's right on board with the 43.
Look, and they're still crashing, and he's just making his way through it. Great job by that young man.
Really nice job, and I hate it for Haley Deegan. High hopes coming into this race, right there in the 13, that beautiful black and yellow truck. See if there was any contact here.
She gets squeezed a little bit, but that's just racing.
Yeah,
I mean, racing. It's hard to blame anyone for that.
It's like you're a pinball.
There wasn't any blatant move up or move down by anybody.
Just a little air turbulence moving them around, and it was just enough to cause things to go wrong.
You talked about it before, when these trucks get side by side, and certainly in the middle of a 3 wide, they lose so much downforce, and those things will wobble a little bit.
Wobble a lot. Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Yes, it's connected right here, yes.
John Hunter Nemechek in the 17, but Taylor Gray will be taking over this truck full-time in March. Pits are open. They're coming your way, Jamie.
And for Matt DiBenedetto in that number 25 machine, he continues to be happy with the truck that team has given him tonight. He said, I don't need any adjustments. I'm good to go green with what I have. It's just going to be 4 new tires. For Ben Rhodes aboard the number 99, he feels like he needs to be freed up just a little bit for the dirty air. He said in the clean air, we're good to go racing. Josh?
The 88 of Matt Craftsman, 3-time runner-up here looking for that first win. Said that truck is still a little too tight, but not bad. They're going to make a round adjustment for them in the right rear. As far as the 42 of Carson Hocevar picking up a much-needed playoff point. They decided to stay out when they did get that stage point. Now they come in pit, and pretty happy with that truck so far.
Thank you, Josh. Got some needed adjustments. Saw the wedge wrenches out there. 4 tires all around. Carson Hocevar loses a spot on pit road.
Grant Enfinger wandering around trying to find somebody to follow down pit road.
And gained a spot on pit road.
Great work by the pit crew there.
Stage number 2 winner Carson Hocevar, also the tallest driver in the field at 6'5". We'll see if he can hang on to it and get his first career victory.
But a big draft down the bottom.
It's mean and gnarly, and everybody's ripping and gouging.
Then we've got trouble on the front stretch.
The lap later, that thing lights up.
It's a bar fight out there. It's that danger zone. Big train on that outside lane. I mean, he's clear for now. We'll see if these guys can get lined up.
Is that incredible?
Game time in Vegas.
It certainly is game time at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Look at the twinkling lights of the Las Vegas Strip. But hey, all the action is right here. It has been incredible. The action, it's been hard to sit down or catch our breath.
Just like Kurt Busch said, it's gnarly and ripping. There's a lot of things going on, Jamie.
Yeah, 6 laps or 6 cautions so far tonight. Kyle Busch has led the most laps. We did have a couple penalties there that round of pit stops.
Yeah, Ty Majeski had to go to the back for an uncontrolled tire.
Unfortunate, they had a really good truck early on, but he's not out of it, as we learned tonight.
No.
Look at Corey Heim back there on row 3 lurking. He's done a nice job. Ross down on the bottom of that row. And then still, if Christian Eckes somehow wins this race, he made the save of the year already.
He certainly did. And Daniel died, too. I know he's not running up front, but he got 3 laps back, and he's avoided every one of the wrecks tonight.
Nick Sanchez got back on a lead lap with this caution flag.
All right, we've got Kaz Gralla, Tanner Gray, stage 3 underway.
Kyle Busch trying to give a push to Kaz Gralla.
Kaz will take it. But Tanner Gray strong on the outside. It's got the momentum. But watch him stall out about halfway downfield. Then here comes the 1 truck.
Here comes that draft.
The 11 of Corey Heim on the outside. Look at Christian Eckes in the 19. That truck has been a rocket tonight.
Oh, not enough room down there, Tanner. Kyle's going to take that spot away. Put you 3 wide up the middle. Chase Purdy battling there.
Oh, look at that wad.
Oh, me.
Chase Purdy driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the 4 truck this year. How about Kaz Gralla? Tricon Garage in the number 1, leading this race right now.
That's a commitment from David Gilliland and the owners of Tricon. They've got a lot going on, a lot of trucks on the racetrack. And I think that 5 truck you see just back there, Dean Thompson, this could be a career night for him.
Yeah, without I don't think he's had a top 10 finish in his career, right, Michael?
No, he was 11th as his best here a year ago, but he's been in the top 5 more tonight than he has been his whole career. There's a battle for the lead.
Kyle Busch once again takes it.
I love when you see guys just get it, start to make some progress. Look at this dive by Christian. He's going to make that work.
I'm not sure anybody that's run any harder than Christian Eckes has. You mentioned that big save he had, but he's made it 2 wide, 3 wide, going around the outside.
was going to say, he's run all over the track.
Yes,
I want to
he
see
has.
if his truck is as good on the bottom as it has been on the top.
Speaking of on the bottom, see Corey Heim down there. He's squeezed out.
Kyle Busch, talk about a lot on his plate this weekend. He's running all 3 series, plus his son Brexton Busch is making his Bandolero debut right next to us at the Bull Ring, where Kyle Busch learned to race coming up. So he's got a lot going on, and not to mention all the business side of things that he's operating and thinking about. So
And he's home.
He's home.
He's home in Las Vegas.
Jamie's home.
Jamie's home.
It is pretty cool to have this view of this racetrack. This is the first place I ever saw a NASCAR race. Way back.
And Maury Gallagher, that owns this truck right here, is home.
Home for Legion Airlines.
There you see on the outside, Ty Majeski rebounding from those issues that he had on pit road and charging toward the front. Zane Smith underneath Carson. Can he finish the deal? Yes, he does.
That was a strong move right there.
Ooh, so strong, he's even going to try to take 2 on
he
the
might
deal.
get 2 for 1.
I like what I'm seeing out of Ben Rhodes tonight. He's been really consistent, running up there in the top 10. I feel like they had moments the second half of last year where it just wasn't Ben Rhodes' type of events.
You know, we had written him off at the end of the year. He made the championship 4, but we said, well, he really hasn't had the speed. And then he goes to Phoenix and had such a great race and was actually leading on a late restart. And he told us at Daytona that he's thought about that about 9,017 times.
And he will do that the rest of his life. Just that close to winning a championship in NASCAR.
41's on pit road, Josh.
Yeah, the 41 of Ross Chastain coming into pit. They've been saying over the radio that that truck is running hot, so they're going to come in and see if they can figure out what the issue is.
He was back in the 14th position. Josh, he's been all over the place tonight. There's the 18-year-old Jake Garcia down on the bottom, learning so much. And man, Phil, this is a great, strong move against the veteran De Benedetto.
You know he has a good truck. He's teammate to Christian Eckes. Christian right now holds down that 2nd spot.
Jake Garcia, happy birthday. 18th birthday today. You have to be 18 to run the big tracks in this series. So nice way to spend your birthday, right?
I think it's pretty awesome to be 18.
You're not old enough to go down there to the strip. But you could be right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
He's right where he wants to be, though,
That's
Jamie.
right. That's right.
It's hard to believe he's allowed to run 190 miles an hour, but not allowed to go into a casino. But anyway.
Something for everyone at Las Vegas,
That's right?
Jamie, what are they saying in the 1 camp?
Well, for Cosgrella, he's just not able to run up high as comfortably as the other trucks that are around him. Remember, he led this field back to the green flag, but he also made a pit stop before everybody else, and they're going to be about 30 laps shy on fuel if we continue under this green flag racing. So he's eventually going to have to lose some of this track position to come back to pit lane, too.
Oh, that's a hard spot to be in.
Ross Chastain in the 41, we saw him on pit road. He just got busted for speeding. So problems from earlier. He had fuel pressure issues in practice and qualifying. They had to change everything out, started in the back, and those problems continue here in the race.
Looks like Corey Heim is finally going to get around Cosgrella. He was persistent about it, wasn't he, Phil? He got in a bind down in turns 3 and 4, but was able to leave his foot in it and make that pass. Very talented young racer.
The teammates right there from Tricon, Corey Heim, Cosgrella, as well as Tanner Gray.
Corey Heim with the new crew chief this year, and Scott Cipodelli. Scott knows how to get around this place. He knows how to get around every track.
He's a championship-winning crew chief.
He really is. So many wins, so much experience in this series, and he's so excited to work with this young driver in Corey Heim. He's seen what he has, the talent that he has.
Well, Carson just drove her down in there, didn't he?
Yeah, and here comes Matty D on the outside on Jake Garcia. Jake's got company on the inside.
Ty Majeski says, excuse me, coming through.
Majeski's made his way back up into the top 15, Jamie, after that penalty on his last pit stop.
Jamie, we don't lack for anything to talk about here in the Craftsman Truck Series, do we? There's plenty going on.
You're right. You know, when you're a pit reporter, you're used to having to speak in like 15 and 30-second increments. You're in the booth and there's so much going on. You're talking the whole time. So much fun. What a great perspective. It's a lot of fun to watch the strategy play out from this perspective and listen to both of you and your insight and what you see and how you understand it. It's so much different from here.
Well, we love having you up here with us. We're having a good time and seeing some great Friday night under the lights racing.
That's right.
I mean, I just love the effort that these drivers and teams put in all winter long to to come here and put on a show like this.
I wish everybody could go into the garage before this race started and see how beautiful and meticulous these trucks are. All brand new.
Top to bottom, they were awesome.
Latest and greatest, everything. You couldn't believe that these trucks are going to be raced. They were so perfect under the hoods, the whole thing.
Grant Enfinger in the 15th position.
Remember, we talked during qualifying, wide open. Every truck was wide open around here qualifying. You could hear Grant right there pedaling that throttle. Can't do it now.
I think Kyle Busch has found the setup on his 51 truck. He's sailing.
He's got the truck where he wants it, and he's got the competition right where he wants it. Behind him, Kyle Busch hang on for his 4th truck win at Vegas.
Life on the farm. I don't meet girls.
I have dated a lot of guys in the city. It hasn't worked out for me. I want the fairy tale.
Yeah.
I just haven't met you yet.
I love everything about him.
They're getting your shoes all dirty, darling. To open myself up and share my life with someone, it would mean a lot.
A Farmer Wants a Wife premieres Wednesday on Fox.
Craftsman is back.
And to celebrate our return to the NASCAR Truck Series, we're offering racing fans different Craftsman deals throughout the season. Because teams can count on Craftsman tools to get the job done. And now you can too. When you take advantage of the Craftsman deal of the race, you'll save on the tools that'll help you power through your projects. And this deal, well, it's going fast. So scan the QR code now to get the current deal of the race.
The deal of the race brought to you by Craftsman.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Ray Magliozzi here. When you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check means a guaranteed fit. Let's ride.
Monday morning, when they ask, what'd you do this weekend? Tell them everything. NASCAR returns to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the And Better Health 400 weekend. 3 races, 2 days, 1 non-stop party. You gotta be here. Get your tickets now at AtlantaMotorspeedway.com.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You haven't missed anything. Kyle Busch continues to lead. He's led 37 laps so far tonight, but it hasn't been easy. Christian Eckes, well, he's settled back in second now, but he's been so solid. I think Kyle, like we said, going to break, he's got the competition where he wants him. He's got the truck right where he needs it.
I mean, his truck has gotten better. His truck is running some incredibly fast laps right now, and he's opened up over a 3-second lead on the second place runner, Christian Eckes, right there in the Napa Chevrolet. Jamie, what's going on with Christian?
Well, he's been pretty solid. The thing that hasn't been is their radio communication. They've been dealing with interference on the channel, trying to adjust where the microphones are positioned for the spotter and the crew chiefs so that Christian can hear them a little bit better. One of the messages that he has been able to relay, though, at this point in the race is that he is just too free on dead center. So if they do come back to pit lane, they have some adjustments they can make to help him out for the end of the race.
You know, a lot of times we'll hear that, Phil, as the temperatures go down and the track provides more grip. And you know what Christian Eckes need a little earlier? More grip. Yeah. Watch this amazing
right here.
And watch what Ben Rhodes does, just giving him enough space to hang on to that thing, but not to overcorrect it. Use the wall to straighten it up. That is incredible driving, and what it's given him is a chance to win this race. But not very many people make that save.
Just a small kiss with that right rear corner. If that thing kisses hard and it flattens out that right rear quarter, that truck doesn't run anywhere near this fast.
That was cool.
Well, these truckers will have to pit one more time.
Yeah, they're in their window now. If we see a caution, I think everybody comes to pit road. As Michael talked about, we don't see enough fall off in the lap times to warrant trying to wait longer to put tires on. I think you want to come in, try to have your crew beat as many trucks off pit road as you can.
And this is what they call
the money stop, we can't have a mistake. We got to be perfect.
No speeding, no tire.
Perfect on pit road.
But you know, guys like Christian Eck is like, if I'm going to be Kyle Busch, I need something. You need to tighten my truck up a little bit, but you don't want to risk too many big changes right now. Like you said, Mike, you got to nail this last stop. Don't lose track position on pit road.
Hopefully you can do it with air pressure, because obviously that doesn't take any extra time. But if you got to put a wedge wrench in the back of that window of that, or back bed of that truck, then you're going to lose some time on pit road.
So this is officially the longest green flag stretch we've had tonight.
Yeah,
everybody can take a breath.
Both you guys said we were going to have more than 10 cautions. We've only had 6.
Phil.
All right, there it goes. Phil just jinxed it
Get ready
all.
to have number 7 now that you started running your mouth. Look at that gap that Kyle's opened up. We haven't seen this all night long. His truck is just on point right now, and Christian is watching that 51 truck get smaller in his front windshield.
He's opened up about a second over Ben Rhodes right now, who's in 3rd spot.
Talked about Carson Hocevar, who was leading some laps. He slipped back to the 7th spot, but he got that stage win. He's thinking big picture championship. You win a stage, you take that 1 point, put it in your pocket, and take it to the championship rounds. That's right.
Nice comeback by Majeski after that penalty on his last pit stop. Racing right now with Hocevar, trying to grab that 7th spot. Kaz Grala really doing a nice job right in front of Carson in the 6th spot in that number 1 truck.
Kaz Grala, a Truck Series winner in Daytona, I think back in 2017, if my memory serves me right. And he finally, after all this time, not giving up, landed a full-time ride in the Xfinity Series, driving for Sam Hunt Racing. He'll moonlight over here, do a couple one-offs in the Truck Series, but what a well-spoken young man. So smart, educated. He's put that first. His parents instilled education. But he never wanted to give up on this dream, and he's always been that one in the garage, like your son. You keep searching for that dream until it happens.
Keep grinding, and he's done that, and it's a great opportunity with Sam. I think they're going to do some really good things this year.
Xfinity Series action coming up tomorrow. Mikey, you're doing double duty this weekend. Well, triple duty, because you'll be on race day Sunday.
I like wandering around on the grid, seeing what's up with the drivers, and we'll do some of that on Sunday. It's a great weekend in Las Vegas, Jamie. People get this. I think that the start of this season, Daytona, California, they're events. They're more than just a race. Everybody loves coming out to Vegas for this race. And it was the same last week in California with a packed infield and grandstands full of folks and some great racing. It's been a wonderful start to the 23 NASCAR season.
I love all the characters you find down on the grid. Carrot Top, you can always count him in out there.
Great battle here for the 3rd spot, a 3-way battle.
Man, Ben wants that.
Excuse me, 2nd spot, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Ben was close to getting a nose inside of Christian there off turn 2, and he's going to do it here. Look at that move through the middle.
That's a good handling truck right there, Michael.
I think that 19 truck's giving up the handling a bit. He's slipping back pretty quickly here. You saw the difference in the speed when Ben went to the middle and just held it down, made it work. Now Zane's going to do the same thing.
Ben's truck looks so good. And I'm sure there were a lot of questions with that team. You know, when you change up a crew chief situation, especially the one that you won a championship with back in 21, you know, will it work? And I think tonight they're answering some of those questions. Ben Rhodes now working with J-Rod Prince.
You know, we talked about these drivers getting in their pit window. Now they're all in their window with 40 laps to go. But the thing we have to remember, like Kyle Busch pitted on lap number 55. We can go somewhere around 50, probably 55 laps with the caution laps that Kyle has since he put those tires on. So we may only be about 10 laps, 10, 15 laps for some green flag pit stops.
We ought to go to break so we can come back and watch that stuff.
I think that's a good idea, Michael.
Well, Kyle Busch continues to lead. We're going to step aside, but you won't miss a thing. We'll go side by side from Las Vegas.
The fight's on for the crown right here.
This is the Mecca, where the Conference King is crowned.
For the crown right here.
The Big East Tournament, Wednesday at 3 Eastern on FS1.
Don't do it.
Gonna run that game.
Much has changed over our 75 years, but the thing that never does, the anticipation, the holding of breath until that first green flag drops. and the crazy journey begins all over again. If you could travel 75 years from now, you might not recognize much at all. But one thing will never change. That feeling you get when the race begins again.
Craftsman is back.
And to celebrate our return to the NASCAR Truck Series, we're offering racing fans different Craftsman deals throughout the season. Because teams can count on Craftsman tools to get the job done. And now you can too. When you take advantage of the Craftsman deal of the race, you'll save on the tools that'll help you power through your projects. And this deal, well, it's going fast. So scan the QR code now to get the current deal of the race.
The deal of the race brought to you by Craftsman.
So it's decided. We'll park even deeper into parking spaces so people think they're open.
Surprise!
Can't hear you, Jerry.
Sorry. Yeah, can we get a system where when someone's bike is in the shop, then we could borrow someone else's?
No. Or you can get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that?
There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
LAFC Portland Timbers, Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on Fox. There's a thin line in the NASCAR Xfinity Series between being a name they know and being a name they'll never forget.
Well, Kyle Busch continues to lead here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we have a taker on pit road. Maybe some green flag stops beginning now. See the 42 of Carson Hocevar.
He really smoked them up coming to pit road. I hope he got it down to speed. These guys really have to charge that pit entry to try to give their team the best chance they can. As you see Christian Eckes slide to a stop, Jamie.
Christian Eckes, he's been complaining more and more as these laps have ticked down. He said he was too free, dead center, and then he needed some more lateral grip. So they went ahead, called him a few laps earlier than what they were planning to try and help him out, give him something to fight with.
Michael, you talked about how important this pit stop is. Get those changes, get out, don't lose any time if you want to have it shot at that 51 truck.
Yeah, you don't want to give up anything. You know Kyle Busch is going to execute perfectly to pit road, and you want to give your crew. We talked about the athletes. These stops are so choreographed. You've got to do your job as a driver, putting that truck right in the box, perfect timing. And then mainly making sure you maximize your pit road speed without overdoing it.
Kaz Grala, who's running in the top 10, comes to pit road. Going to get 4 tires. With 32 laps to go, it's more than just 1 can of gas. So I think that's why they're taking advantage and putting 4 tires on, because they have to plug that second can of gas in.
Well, and I think even more advantage at every lap that goes by that Kyle Busch stays on the track, because maybe he'll have to take just a little bit less gas than the others.
Menard's truck, Matt Crafton making his way down pit road. A 3-time runner-up guy here, but never gone to victory.
Yeah, bridesmaid, never the bride.
Saw him pop into the shot there a couple times in the top 5, but haven't talked a ton about it. Josh?
Well, Zane Smith is going to come in and pit at a track that's one of his favorites. Still looking for that first win. He's going to be able to catch Kyle Busch. He's going to need a clean pit stop here. He's going to come in and get 4 tires and fuel for that final run.
I believe he's going to need more than that, Josh. Kyle has set sail. He's probably going to need a caution if they're going to do anything with Kyle Busch. And we've seen plenty early. We could see more late.
Yeah, plenty of trucks on pit road now. There's Ben Rhodes leaving his pit. Rajah Caruth is on pit road.
Ben Rhodes is coming your way, Jamie.
And for Ben Rhodes, you see him exiting pit lane right now. At the beginning of that stint on the tires, he said he was too free, and because of it, he damaged the tires. So then at the end of that stint, he was way too tight all the way through the corner. But the truck was set up with so much stagger, they couldn't do a whole lot to help him out. So he's having to fight through it to get to the end, Josh.
Well, Kyle Busch in the 51 at his hometown track has led 58 laps so far. He's had to come from the back to get back to the front, but right now just coming in for a pit stop to set him up for the rest of the way.
There's that pit stop going down. Tom Majeski making his way down pit road.
Just get them all tight.
That's right.
They had over a 5-second lead when he came down pit road. No mistakes on pit road.
They had a loose wheel earlier for Kyle Busch, but remember that was that RCR crew. Sheldon Creed's crew went over the wall. Matt DiBenedetto's in, Jamie.
And while he's been happy all night with the setup of that number 25, they did decide to make a couple changes. He was too tight this run as the temperatures continue to drop. So they're hoping he improves to get to the checker flag.
Looked like a smooth stop for both those trucks. There goes Kyle back onto the back straightaway. See what his lead turns out to be after the cycle completes itself. Tanner Gray rolling in.
Kaz Gralla was speeding the one truck.
He's making his way back down pit road now, Jamie.
Paying that penalty right now.
Michael, you talked about it. This is the money stop. You can't make any mistakes. Unfortunately, Kaz was speeding on pit road.
Tanner had a tire get away there a little bit, but crew member quickly grabbed it.
They're having trouble on the left rear, it looks like. Longer stop than they wanted. The battle continues here. Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes. Trucks have both been so good tonight.
Once all the pit stops have been made, that will be a battle for second as Ben gets a little bit loose.
Daniel Dye continues to make laps. He's living bonus life with getting all those laps back from an early spin. He's like, I'm going to celebrate this. Lead here in Vegas. Caution comes out right now. Could be a big break for him.
It's his lucky night.
Yeah.
3 laps down, gets back on the lead lap, and
has the lead.
This race right now. There's that Seafoam green truck we talked about in qualifying. I think I was correct. That is Seafoam, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. You don't see that very often.
Leave a lane outside.
On board with Daniel. Looking out his shoulder, over his shoulder, nothing back there much.
You heard his spotter say leave a lane to the outside.
He's going to continue to march along.
"26 laps to go. Race number 2 of the Craftsman Truck Series.
Paying a penalty for Rajah Caruth. Improper fueling.
And Rajah makes his way back down, serving that penalty as Daniel continues off turn 2.
Daniel last pitted on lap number 62.
Ooh, he's got a lot of damage, Rajah Caruth.
And quarter panels come loose.
The Wendell Scott Foundation.
What a pretty truck.
Beautiful truck.
Beautiful paint scheme, and he's running a car in the Xfinity Series tomorrow that looks very much like that, as you see.
Off on the top 20.
Great effort by them, but hate to see Nick Sanchez's evening end like that.
He can take some positives away from this race, though. Great qualifying effort, led the race, battled with the boss.
Yes.
Kyle Busch, or quasi-boss.
Yeah, they're all related.
That's right.
Working together. You want Kyle Busch on your side if you're a young racer like Nick.
Daniel Dye continues to lead. Kyle Busch is coming. Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes. And there he is. Daniel Dye brings it down pit road. That will give the lead back to Kyle Busch in the 51 truck.
Remember, he had about a 5-second lead when he made his pit stop. And we're showing that Zane Smith right now is going to be running second, almost 7 seconds behind. So Kyle and the crew did their jobs.
Execution. Kyle's lapped all the way up to the 13th position. Matt DiBenedetto's currently running 13th. Kobe Howard 14th, a lap down.
Hey, we haven't talked about the guy on top of the box for Kyle Busch this year, Brian Patty. Now, these two worked together 20 years ago. When Kyle, there he is right there, when Kyle ran for Nemco, for Joe Nemechek in the Xfinity Series. And these two got partnered up for about 5 races or so. And they always remained friends. And Kyle asked him, do you want to come over? Step away from the Cup Series, get some more quality time with your family. And Brian Patty said absolutely. He's been in the Cup Series a long time, and he could not wait to work with Kyle in the Truck Series. And so far, so good.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, get a really good chance to win some races.
Yes, he does. And he has both ends of the spectrum, right? He's got Jack Wood, who's a young guy, a rookie coming up that's going to be in a lot of races in this truck. Kyle Busch will do 5, and then there's going to be some other names that will soon be announced.
21 laps to go. As Kyle presses down on Matt DiBenedetto in the 25. Craftsman 20 to go, Jamie.
As the leader crosses the line, we've reached our Craftsman 20 to go.
That's fun to say, isn't it?
It is. Craftsman. 20 to go. It's been a heck of a night.
Kyle trying to put Matt DiBenedetto a lap down. Matt's in the 12th spot.
Man, Matt would like to see a caution right now. Mix things up a little bit. Kyle's having a little bit of trouble there. It looked like the truck got tight off turn 4.
Matt DiBenedetto was so strong early on. Talked about him in the top 10 most of the night. As Kyle Busch tries to get around him, drops to the bottom, try to put DiBenedetto a lap down. Corey.
Whoa, I told you. That truck got, it's evil behind.
All good.
That wasn't Kyle. I know
that was not Kyle. It said all good.
It says it's not all good.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened, but when he got to DiBenedetto, the truck just really went away on him. We talk about the dirty air and how difficult a truck is to drive in traffic. This is one of the best ever to drive one. Watch this.
We haven't seen this truck out of shape at all.
Look, something
it just takes off on him. You saw he had to snatch the wheel to the left to keep him running into the side of DiBenedetto.
He ran a 31.30 the last lap. Right
Lost
behind
about a half a second, over a half a second, didn't he?
Such a vulnerable spot.
Yeah, but it's
in the middle of the corner like that.
It's so strange. You saw it just abruptly move up the hill. That didn't look like it had as much to do with the air. I don't really understand how that would be.
He has a big enough lead now with 17 laps to go that I think he can. And Matt DiBenedetto is keeping up a good enough pace that I think he could just follow Matt DiBenedetto, not try to push the issue as we watch the second and third place trucks, Zane Smith and Ben Rhodes, battle here.
Ironic, Zane Smith in the 38, where they finished last year here second.
For a
but
while.
It doesn't show until after the race or during their last pit stop. They had
it was an illegal lug nut.
Yes.
An illegal lug nut, which nobody really knew that there was 2 different manufacturers, and it was like one less thread on the lug nut. Seems like a very infinitesimal mistake, but that was the rule, and they got busted for it.
And he was disqualified, so it's like he didn't even race here last year. So there was a little bit of redemption, I think, that Zane felt coming back here to Las Vegas, some unfinished business, so to speak. Now here he finds himself in the same spot. Hopefully all the lugs are normal and good, and they can actually show it on the record book.
And he has to keep this 99 truck behind him somehow, Michael.
And also, everything's back to normal for Kyle Busch. He got around Matt DiBenedetto and ran the fastest lap on the track. So there's Corey Heim. Nice job again. This kid, every time he straps in, just performs at a high level.
Be a great effort here for Tricon Garage with Corey Heim. Big hold on and get this top 5 finish.
That's a good battle. Ben's desperately trying to make his way around Zane.
Every point, every position matters.
If you don't believe it, just wait till if you miss a round going into the next round or miss the playoffs by a single point, you think back to what might have been.
If you just laid over, and you don't see that with any of these drivers. It's just incredible fighting like this all night long down to the very end for that one spot. Jake Garcia. Michael, you've been talking about this youngster. Birthday today, turning 18. He's in the 10th spot.
This has been fun to watch, and my day started by meeting him down in the garage, and just a really nice young man.
There he is right there.
Mom and Dad's down with him celebrating his birthday and hopping in Bill McAnally's truck and going out there and performing at this level.
And going after Grant Enfinger right now for that 9th spot.
Jake Garcia from Monroe, Georgia. So now that he's of age, he'll be full-time this year. I'm excited to see what he can do.
I know I'm old because he looked like he was about 12 to me.
Most of this field will make you feel old.
A lot of them do, for sure.
Myself included, makes me feel old.
There's the driver's eye view for Grant Enfinger as he races to hold off 18-year-old Jake Garcia.
So rough.
I mean, Jake Garcia right now is running behind Grant Enfinger, who's a multi-time winner in the series, Final 4 before, and in front of Matt Craftsman, who's a 3-time champion. So pretty good effort by Jake Garcia.
He's in good company. I'm sure he's learning so much.
There's Matt Craftsman, 3-time champion. Slim Jim on the hood. I like a good Slim Jim.
As you mentioned earlier, 20-year relationship with Menards and ThorSport and Matt Crafton.
Kyle Busch comes across the finish line. 10 laps to go here at Las Vegas.
Now, what Kyle Busch wants right now is no caution flags in these last 10 laps.
Keep those horses running.
I asked on my Instagram the other day after Kyle won the race at Fontana, will anybody ever beat Kyle Busch ever again in the history of NASCAR? Well, he's trying to make it one race where they're not going to beat him, and it looks like that's going to happen. Just 9 to go here at Las Vegas.
You know what's interesting? Last week at Fontana on Sunday when Kyle won, you didn't hear a whole lot of boos. I think the tide is turning for Kyle, and I don't know.
I just wish people would understand what a talent he is. I mean, it's incredible. He's done things that very few people in our sport have ever done.
He's done something that Richard Petty has never done. I mean, that is amazing. Richard is the king. He won 18 straight years at the Cup level. Kyle's won 19.
This will be, if he can hold on here and we don't get a caution and change things up, it'll be the 18th year that he's won a race in the Truck Series and 11 years in a row.
Just putting that truck through its paces, still running fast lap times. He was the fastest truck on the track that last time by. Zane Smith was second fastest, but he's over 6 seconds behind.
Here's a stat for you. Busch failed to win 2 of the last 3 races when leading with 10 to go.
He doesn't want to hear that, Jamie.
He does not. But we're all about the stats, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They paint a picture.
And I'm with you. I'm with you.
I don't know. We had so many cautions in a row for a while. We thought, what is this night going to look like? 10 cautions again?
Some of us up here thought there would be at least 10 cautions.
Yeah, I know. Are you looking at me or are you looking at Michael?
Both. I'm actually looking at both of you.
They've been mellow.
Yeah, they got strung out and couldn't run into each other, even if they wanted to. And it was like they didn't run into wanted to earlier.
Well, it hasn't been all smooth sailing for Kyle Busch tonight. We talked about his issue on pit road. They came in early before stage 1 ended. He had to use a different pit crew. He had a loose wheel, had to come back in and restarted basically in the back and fought his way forward.
Rajah Caruth was on and off of pit road there with an issue.
He's a number of laps behind now.
Eckes was up there in the hunt for top 3, and they made some changes, but it didn't seem to help too much. He's back there in 6th right now.
Yeah, I think his truck got really loose, it looked like, for Christian.
Zane, though, solid again, second, racing for another championship. Off to a great start here in 2023.
Be a first and a second for the first 2 races for Zane if he can hold on here and hold off Ben Rhodes and we don't get any caution flags. What a great start to the season for his trying to go back-to-back here.
Speedco and Loves on that truck.
Yeah,
get to run some cup races this year as well.
Great partners over there at Front Row Motorsports. There's Ben Rhodes, the Kubota Ford for Duke and Rhonda Thorson, ThorSports. Another great run for Ben Rhodes here.
The Louisville, Kentucky native champion.
ThorSport, another one of those teams with a big change. See the blue oval on the front there. They were Toyota for so long and made the switch over to Ford.
Ross Chastain flaring up there in the 41 truck. He had some issues on pit road and on his truck and just soldiering on to the finish.
Saw Ben hold his hand out the window to say thank you to Ross for giving him some room.
And that was disappointing. Every time Ross Chastain's in the field, you want to see what he has, what he's capable of, especially with Kyle Busch. And they put on a heck of a battle last weekend in Fontana until Kyle just decided to set sail and capture his first win with Richard Childress Racing. 2 laps to go here in Las Vegas.
He's able to capture his first win for RCR, and now he's going to get his 50-some with his own team.
His 63 career wins if he holds on. Extends his record.
He just wants to hold.
5.0.
He was over crew chiefing and being driver coach today with his son Brexton over at the Bull Ring. Jumped in the truck, jumped in the Xfinity car.
And Jamie, so many questions in the offseason. He's going to switch to Chevrolet. KBM has had so much success with Toyota. They're going to switch to Chevrolet. Is it going to hurt him? I don't think so.
No. It looks like it might have helped him. He is dominant right now.
You know, and I think it's natural that Kyle was wondering too, you know, how will this affect us? Will we pick up right where we left off?
White flag is in the air.
Kyle Busch, dominated performance, led 82 laps tonight. Kyle Busch, the driver from Las Vegas, wins at Las Vegas for the 4th time in his career.
Great work, guys. Really nice job. Appreciate that.
You just have to appreciate excellence. And he is an amazing race
And he
driver.
can evaluate his race team. Now he knows that the equipment's good. He knows that Nick Sanchez had speed. Chase Purdy's going to come out of here with a top 10 finish. I think things are looking up for KBM.
Welcome back to Victory Lane, Brian Patty. That's got to feel good for him.
Well, he's done it before. Can he do it again? He's running all 3. Got 1 down, 2 to go.
When that guy is motivated, look out. He's run the triple so many times. He swept the triple twice, both at Bristol.
Now, just chew on that for a second.
Yeah.
He won 3 races in the same weekend twice at Bristol, the toughest track on the circuit, arguably.
And a burnout at the start-finish line at his home track. Smoke, we've got fireworks. Put on a heck of a show tonight. And his whole family is here to see it tonight. They didn't make the trip out to Fontana. Samantha. Kids all here.
That's what I think a Friday night should look like.
Absolutely.
All the winning he does, watch the emotion here. He loves to win. He loves what he does so much. It never gets old.
We talked about this is his 21st top 2 finish in the last 25 races. And I think he hates to finish second.
You hear that? The cheers.
It's his home track, Jay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of relatives.
I've heard it the other way at his home track.
He's getting to most of them.
All the fans down there at the fence.
You know what I think's great about this victory? Early on, I mean, they had his number.
Oh, yeah. They raced hard.
He had to make the right adjustments and be perfect when it mattered the most, and he did just that. That's an experienced, talented race car driver being able to communicate to a great crew chief like Brian Patty to get those adjustments that it took to put him in this position.
It's the rowdy bow. He's going to sleep well tonight.
And get ready to go again tomorrow.
They'll probably go over notes with Brexton about the Bandolero race that he has tomorrow night.
Run the Xfinity Series, then he'll jump over there and watch his son race. Lots of fireworks. Look at that shot.
That's beautiful.
Josh Sims, you're with him.
Kyle Busch, that is your 4th career Truck Series victory here at your home track of Las Vegas, with the first one since making that switch over to Chevy. So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, no, it's great. Just thank you guys. Thank all the fans for coming out tonight. Rowdy Nation, getting loud. It's a lot of fun to just race in the Truck Series. I appreciate that. You know, it's an honor to just be able to come out here with KBM, my own team, and have some fun and just kind of work on our stuff and always make sure that we've got good stuff. So can't thank all my guys enough. Everybody at Kyle Busch Motorsports, everybody at Rowdy Manufacturing. Billy Ballew's on board with us here today. If you need a used vehicle, check him out. He's got a couple locations in the South, but you know, a lot of great memories with Billy, but another great memory here in Vegas. Whole new group and still winning, so it's fun.
And of course, you had to battle your way back, led a ton of laps, but it wasn't easy out there tonight. What did it take to win?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple dicey moments in traffic, but you know, not too bad. But I would have loved to have raced with Zane. You know, they kind of got off strategy where we were able to cycle up, and we had clean air for most of the start of that last run. And he came through the field, got to second, and then we kind of maintained. So if we would have been able to race it out, you know, it would have been a hell of a show. But all in all, just a great night here to win in Las Vegas again. And you got to win the first one to be able to win all 3, right?
Congratulations, Kyle.
That is so cool. The fans appreciate. I don't care if they're kin folks or not. Just appreciating what he was able to accomplish and looking forward to seeing him go at it again tomorrow.
And you heard him use that word honor to race in this series. There's Brian Patty, the man we talked about, getting back to victory lane, and a man that knows how to burn them down. We'll wrap things up from Las Vegas after this. And we welcome you back. There's Kyle Busch as he finds his way to victory lane. He led 83 laps tonight. And it was a heck of an effort by Zane Smith and Ben Rhodes. They finished second and third, and they're with Jamie.
Both of them led laps at points in this race. We'll start off with Zane Smith. Zane, you were able to lead 8 laps, got shuffled back a little bit. What role did that play in you finishing second tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with our day. We had a really good Speedco Ford. Happy with our stage win. Got shuffled back there on one of those late race restarts, and then just kind of let Kyle get away for one, and it's so hard to execute pit road facing him. And so still happy with our day. Another good points today, so we'll carry this momentum and go on to the next one.
And for Ben, I was listening to your conversation. You had your hands up going sideways talking about the action that was out there on track tonight. What does this tell you about the way that this early stage of the championship's going to go?
Yeah, a lot of drafting tracks right up front, right? You've got Daytona, Las Vegas, Atlanta, and maybe not the best indicator of how somebody's season's going to go, but nevertheless, our Kubota Ford F-150 was very fast tonight. We ended up getting some good stage points in stage 2, and then a good finish here tonight. Obviously, the truck's in one piece. That's great for my guys. Some of us don't have the luxury of short pitting like others and getting a big advantage going through the traffic, so we had some work to do tonight, but, you know, all in all, I'm very proud of the effort of my guys. Nice, stable, fast truck.
Work paid off. Good points tonight.
You know what I love, Jamie? A stable fast truck. That sounds like something I could drive, Phil.
Yeah, and I like the fact that we, obviously we talked about the changes, KBM going to Chevrolet. Well, ThorSport went to Ford, and they have 2 Fords in the top 5 with Majeski in 5th as well as Ben Rhodes.
And the next thing I can't wait for is Atlanta. That place is wild. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
It's a super speedway race now. We can't even compare it to a 1.5 miles now, right?
And no practice.
Yes.
No practice. We're going to qualify, but we're not going to practice at all.
And you see it there. That's our next Truck Series race, March 18th. Race day starts at 1 Eastern. 2 Eastern will be the race. We're looking forward to that. Round number 3 of the Craftsman Truck Series race. We have so much more action coming for you starting tomorrow and the next day. And can Kyle Busch win tomorrow? Can he win Sunday? We appreciate you spending your night with us. For Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, Jamie Howe, Josh Sims, I'm Jamie Little. It's been fun. It was a heck of a battle. There's that pit crew. Look at those athletes running. They were the star of the show tonight. But it was all Kyle Busch at the end. Now it's time for Mountain West basketball, New Mexico at Colorado State. Here's Ari Wolf and Jeff Settles. So long from Vegas.